Is it okay to have?
All right, yo. We're live. Derek's going to check the audio real quick. Let me know if you hear me.
It is a camera. Yes.
That's a camera, yeah.
It was a camera a second.
That's a camera. No echo. We're good?
I think we're good.
Are there rules about profanity and man flirting?
Listen,
You guys
this one, it's whatever. Whatever happens.
Let it rip.
Yeah.
That's not what you should tell him.
Right. That's probably the wrong thing to say, but.
Because that's a challenge.
This is so, for whatever reason, we skipped episode 12. Episode 12, it just disappeared.
But there's a 13.
So this is the lost episode. This is episode 12. This is the lost episode.
You
So
can't do profanity, you can do amateur fan.
yeah, there you go.
Magnetic rug under
That's
his.
usually way dirtier.
All right, cool.
Everything all right?
Yeah, I think it sounds okay. Let me get these.
I met her.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Live, should I watch
So
Yippee.
what are we going to talk about? You got a plan?
Yeah, no plan. No, we're just hanging out. So we wanted to get together some of the guys after the Sundown Show, just kind of have a little chat about what was up, with the show, and find out what everybody thought about what went on today, other than it being hot. And
Should we go around the room?
yeah, let's. I guess we do a quick introduction for everybody that's at the table, so everybody knows who we got.
I'm Rich, and I'm an alcoholic.
All right.
We're doing true.
We have Ed.
Oh, hey, I'm Ed.
Where are we looking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Who are you and why are you important to the car audio community?
Well, that's debatable, but it's not debatable that I am Ed, Sparked Ed on YouTube, and from Sparked Innovations, formerly Showtime SPL on YouTube, and a whole bunch of other things. So, and a 3 or 4 time guest on 12 Talk.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I'm almost an official co-host.
Yeah, unofficial.
A lot better co-host than me, but Derek stuck with me nonetheless.
Guess.
And then down on the end, who are you? What do you
Casey,
do?
I'm from Power Hog.
Yeah.
I'm just an audio fanatic, really. My passion.
Fair enough. And then let's solo. Which one? Crew? No. Where we at? All right.
John, Robbie. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody always pronounces your last name wrong, right?
Yes.
You hear it all the time. But it's Robbie.
It's been mispronounced so many times.
Just today, probably.
Yeah, I don't even correct anymore, so I just let it go. Cool.
Well, it's like very phonetic. It's like Rob.
Yeah. Yeah. So Robbie, I own Sky High Audio, and I don't know why I'm important. Everyone makes me real important, but I don't feel like I'm really important. I don't want to be important either. Important. I know I'm important to you. That's why you brought me a beer.
Oh, wow.
And this guy.
This guy. I am this guy,
Yeah.
and I don't know exactly why I'm important.
I was just joking about the important thing. We all know you're very important. Very important. The most important person at this table, I might say.
It's weird. Y'all make me
Mr.
I'm
Bobby
important
Giggles.
because
Yeah.
I'm weird.
I
And
love
when I'm
it.
in car audio, I try to be nice to people typically, except for when I'm not. But I built some cool speaker boxes and stuff sometimes.
Yeah, very cool.
All the
That's my
time.
plan.
Not just sometimes.
I would
Sometimes.
say all the time, man.
Yeah.
21
Other
hours
than
a
the ones
day.
that get tossed. We don't talk about those.
Right.
No, we do actually. We bring them up pretty often. To be honest with
And then I'll solo lay out us, and then you guys know who we are. We're dummies. Who are you?
I'm a dummy.
Well, we all are.
I'm Mike.
Mike Brooks,
Yep.
longtime friend.
Mike has been a mod on the old school stereo groups for, I don't even know, like 8 or 9 years. Long time. Yeah, he's been there for a long time. So
Yeah.
Be good to be here.
yeah, good to have you.
And this guy right here, he's kind of a legend in chat.
Oh, you still.
The man, the myth, the
look at
legend.
it. Look at that.
Here he is.
Mr. Byron Chambers.
Byron is always in
Yeah.
the chats, and he's always
Very
Yeah.
supportive.
very
Yeah, he's
supportive
the
of
man.
everybody in the whole community. So thank you, Byron. Seriously. You picked up these guys from the airport.
And he's been our show for a
and
couple
been,
weeks.
And he's
been there
been
for
that big. Yes.
yeah, so he's top quality.
It was his idea for us to fly out here. He's like, "Come and hang out. It's gonna be fun." I was like, "Maybe." He's like, "I'll get your hotel, man." I'm like, "Fuck, man." I'm like, "Well, let me just look at it." And I was like, "Direct flight,
Yeah.
There you go.
4 hours and 20 minutes, no problem." So
Yeah.
4 weed gummies later, and we arrived.
Oh man.
Interesting flight.
So did everyone get to listen to a bunch of builds? Do they have any favorites?
You got one more intro.
Wait, no. What's going on
We
here?
didn't-
Damn it!
we
I thought
didn't do
y'all missed
Parker.
me.
Yeah.
He's like,
Hey,
I know. I was
Parker's kind of small, y'all. We missed him. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So I'm very sorry
I was
about
sitting
it.
way down here. I'm Parker. I make sub reviews on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, Parker's
I
awesome.
had a build for Sundown.
And everybody
I'm
doesn't
here.
like Parker. Fight me over it. I'll fight you
I
for
don't like.
in his stead.
We got two super chats.
Wow.
One from a Scott at Power
Power Hog.
Oh.
Audio.
Who is that? Who's that?
He's in every YouTube video. Every YouTube video he's in. Like, donating $1.
Oh, he's at Disney.
I
And
think
David
I met him
Monroe.
That's
Appreciate it.
Thank you for the super
Yeah.
chat.
Power Hog dude.
Giving you $5.
There's one more.
And David Monroe.
One more. David Monroe.
Keep going up.
Another one.
Behan Beats.
Another one.
Did I miss that?
Oh.
Mr. Behan Beats.
Oh yeah.
Brandon Hanna. He's the dude as well. He was supposed to be here. All right. So, favorite builds. Anybody got any? Or listen to any?
Yeah. I don't. Actually, I'll start that off. We gave an award, which Casey won at the last show, at the Excess Power Show, and called it Sparked Award for Innovation, Sparked Innovations. So I got to look at maybe 20 builds up close during the judging process. We gave the award to Mark from
Nice up.
Nice Up, and he built his own spectrum analyzer LED display in his back windows, and it was phenomenal. There was a bunch of other good ones. I mean, Duncan, the donut van, obviously that was ripping people apart and everything.
Kill your face off.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I didn't get a whole lot of demos because every time I walked past, people were cooling down and stuff. That
Yeah.
happens, But
It was stupid hot today.
yeah, but so many good looking. Hey, the salt trucks, the J-Car guys, and
Yeah.
all those things. Beautiful installs.
Yeah, this guy to your right had a really impressive demo today too.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, shake your head. It was
Yeah,
impressive.
Sounds good.
So- Casey's was my favorite demo of the weekend. And the most fun demo I would give to Jerry. Is his name Jerry?
Yeah,
Jaco.
Jerry Jocko.
Jocko.
With the TV3 prods.
Right. With the Jeep.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
thing was absolutely brutal.
Yeah.
That thing is brutal. But
Did
I
you
like
tap
the
out?
lows. No, I didn't tap out. Oh man, I don't tap out. I tap out from bullet tweeters. I don't tap out from subs.
Right. We've had this conversation like 46 times.
So I'm not the only
Bullets,
one.
I don't know though.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know though. I Chris Lee's truck. I was like, I got mad at him when we were at Slam. I was like, don't do that again. I was like, I'm gonna stand at your door from now on. We're good. I was like,
Yeah.
And then I was like, new rule after Chris did that to me. If it doesn't have a seat, then I'm standing at the door. That's my rule. It's like fucking done. Like, I love Chris Lee. I love his build.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want the high note. Don't just tap me. And he was like, whoa. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
don't do that again. He was like,
That's
okay.
That's one thing I
sorry.
wasn't expecting was when they get you with the 60 hertz out of the blue. It's like low and it's like,
Dude, it was
oh.
like 80.
Yeah.
And it was like I got kicked in the nuts like an
Yeah.
hour later. I was like, I swear to God, it was like, it was violent. I was pissed. But the only other thing that was like that was 2 years ago at Slam in the Cube. Because I was in that thing for like an hour and a half. While he
during
was
the
like getting it.
Deadliest demo.
And, yeah, when we were doing that thing. And they talked me into getting in that like kick panel area of that fucking thing. And I didn't even get all the way in. There was another guy that was like all the way, and I was like against him. And I like involuntary tapped, and I swear to God, that thing moved a kidney stone that I shot out like 3 days later. I was like, oh.
Still out of
I like moved, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What did I do?" And they were like, "You did like a seizure." I was like, "Oh, sorry." Like,
You lose
Yeah.
all your body functions
No.
in a build like that. It's hard to explain. You're just like,
wow. Yeah, it was like.
It is. You can't
Extra
communicate it through video too.
But when I was in that spot
Yeah,
and
it's
we
like,
played
what happened?
13 hertz, so I don't know if you know the cube, it was like 13 and 53 or something like that. 13 was like my and I'm like, oh my God. I'm just like, It would rip my hat off my head, and I was in it. It wasn't like I was at the door. I sucked my hat off my head, and they brought it into the chamber. Going in the chamber was not nearly as loud as in that.
The residence.
It was floating, the rubber mat on the floor, and it was like, look at that shit, that's cool. This was a foot and a half off the floor, and it weighed like 50 pounds. It was like
one of the
half-inch
weather
thick
tanks.
rubber mat. It was freaking cool.
Literally
It was
full
big. But yeah, and it moved to kidney stone. But like, I'm not kidding. I'm pretty sure I pissed that thing out like 3 days later, and I was like, oh, that might have been more unpleasant had I not been in the queue 3 days ago. Guys,
Therapy for you.
But wiggled it loose.
Yeah, they kept getting me because they're like, oh, he's an SQ guy. Like, give him the beans. Like, just destroy him. I'm like, okay, man. I'm ready. Let's go. But I didn't listen to like the super deadly, like the black van that was all blacked out. I didn't listen to that one. I didn't listen to the Sundown.
Well, Clippo.
I didn't listen to Clippo.
Yeah.
I want to listen to it. I'm sure I probably will tap out on those. But
I think the gnarliest thing ever is Chris's van.
really,
That moment,
that's
and it
what
was
I heard.
a freaking quarter of a second, and I was like, "Fuck!" I'll do that shit
What
again.
just happened?
Like,
I lost
roll.
a second
I
of my
stand at
life.
the door, and these things down. Fuck that. It's like,
It's too much.
well,
5
not-
years ago, you can go on whatever. No
5
problem.
years ago,
It's not a problem.
No problem. Actually, yeah, the deadliest demo thing in 19.
Yeah,
I got in everything and just
Yeah.
soaked up. I was like,
Hutchinson's,
I sat there
Trevor.
and I was like, I wanted to tap, but I didn't. I'm like, I don't want to tap. I don't want to tap. I'm not going to tap. Though. I was like, oh, I was like, that hurt a lot. It was like, get out. Now, like Chris's truck, you're like, oh.
You're 4 feet away from it.
Yeah. And then he's like, says that. He's like, it'll play like that for like 5 minutes straight.
Not with me in
I'd
it.
be dead like 10 times over in there. Like, you'd be dead.
That's the thing. How much do we advance before it's just too much?
We're there.
Yeah, what,
Yeah,
what
before
was
you
it?
get
I
hurt.
was about to say that, yeah.
Does it ever
really think
neck
people,
pain
like,
from
you know, if it doesn't have a
think
seat in it, then
certain
you should stand
You
next
should
to it.
probably not.
Probably not.
Probably in 180 dB. So
Like, you've seen the videos
burst.
where they do it with a watermelon?
yeah.
There was, I remember seeing it back like on Term Pro and Sound Domain, where guys would have a choppy ass video from a
Home
$10,000 camcorder.
Someone put
from
a mouse or
803.
something in one of them in it, and you'd see all the blood come out of this.
Ooh.
And that was in an extreme car doing maybe 170 back then. But
Wow.
extreme, all that energy's going.
I'm still stuck on the animal torture. That kind of
Well, that's why.
I know it's a mouse. I would feed that to a snake, but I'm like,
That's also
I
why
just
that
killed
video
him.
isn't anywhere to be seen.
Yeah, no kidding. Because people are like, why the fuck would you do that?
Flag.
Fucking asshole.
Well, John, did you have any builds there, or because you were basically in every build, like every build I've seen, there was
Sky high,
Yeah,
wide,
no,
everywhere.
it was really cool and it was really humbling too because like we own the West Coast. Like every car, every person
Yeah.
we know,
Mhm.
every person we've dealt with, and like it's really personal. And like here, I'm like, who the fuck are all these people? It was crazy because normally we have booths and we have employees and I have trailers and sales and dealer meetings
Yeah.
and all this stuff. And this is like the first show in probably 10 years that like the goosebumps are coming in.
Yeah.
This is the first show in 10 years that it was like a show for me. And like we just walked around,
Got to
talked
hang
off,
Just chilled out, yeah.
seen everybody,
that's
talked to everyone. So it was pretty cool actually. And yeah, I did see a lot of Sky High stuff, and that was awesome. My favorite car wasn't even was that Forester.
I
There's
think
a
it's sick.
right-hand drive Forester with an STI
It
swap.
was
It
beautiful.
had 612s or 10s or I didn't even look at there. I don't
Is that on the top, like top of the
Six
track?
cents on an
Yeah,
hour.
I don't buy it, but I
Color
didn't-
was-
I didn't look at it.
bag,
It was a beautiful build.
STI swap.
I posted a video of the roof in slow mo, and it looks like water. I mean, it
Yeah, it's
literally
crazy.
looks like it's just.
Ripple.
I'm like, dude, it's the fucking surface of a lake, but it's like if it was milk, yeah, fucking milk lake, and it's. Just, when I did it in slow mo, it's really fucking cool.
He should do that. Then pour milk on the roof and let it go and splash off.
You don't need fucking YouTube. The roof is literally ripping itself to pieces. And just
Put some
and he's got like 3 layers of sound deadening on it
Fruit
too.
Loops. Do a Fruit Loop.
Wow.
Yeah. But see, Ed's recycling the old Showtime SPL videos ideas right there.
That
Some of the-
or there was the what guy's name? King. He had King on his shirt. Like 70-year-old
King or
dude.
whatever?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what his name was.
No, I don't remember. His name.
And he was
I
just
remember
kicking it in
getting
front of his truck the whole time.
Yeah, he
I
had
didn't
a
listen to
purple Yukon.
It
It was
was
purple.
Is it you
Perp, yeah.
Yeah, he had like
Yeah.
leaves, and he had the
Yeah, we were talking to him for like an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did
David.
for a long
Yeah.
time.
And he gave us a demo.
Sparks
And,
flying out of his sub.
yeah,
and,
blowing shit up. And he just let
like,
it play.
still going.
I was like, oh, that sounded like a con. I
It's
got
like,
a spare
no,
unclick.
it might be another one. Like,
Dude.
okay. It was like doing like a 60 on 4 subs or some shit.
Dude, he started blowing shit up and it was still like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. This interior was done in our shop actually.
Dude, that was beautiful.
Some clean interior.
Yeah, that was great.
Third time Billy, man. He's awesome. In Atlanta.
Yeah. No, his interior was like,
Very nice.
yeah, it was nice. It was a good all around car, actually.
Is that the guy with the trailer that got the wheels on?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, it was like,
That's the highlight of the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Like for real, he like the whole steal the show is that trailer with those dope ass wheels.
Yeah.
We're walking in and there's people in front of us pointing at it, like, and I'm like, all people that see the wheels. And I had seen a picture of the wheels the day before. I'm like, this dude's wheels on his trailer. I'm like, oh, that's dope. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, this is the most talked about thing of the whole fucking weekend is this dude's wheels on his trailer.
They have a $1 bet with Limitless about who has the most baller trailer. I'm like, I'm coming next year.
Yeah.
I'm bringing a trailer and somebody's gonna give me my $1.
I've seen so many, like, I don't know how big they are. They look like 30-inch wheels out there. You guys are rolling hard out here, man.
Yes,
we
it was.
You ain't doing that in Arkansas.
No, you
Hey.
can't do it here either. You're gonna.
Yeah.
Those are trailer queens.
Yeah.
A couple of the squatted.
Yeah.
So that was funny.
Luckily not too
I seen a Ranger.
The Ranger was
Those wheels.
Really?
This thing
I-
was
it looked
sick,
like-
dude.
Yeah, it looked like it.
The giant lips in this.
Yeah.
Like if you hit one bump, boom,
Oh,
it's going.
It's like a dog dragging his butt on the ground.
How the fuck do you see where you're going?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Driving pray.
Just hit the brakes.
Sorry about the distance.
Hey, all roads are up.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, that's got to throw the geometry of the suspension off so much.
It's not as bad as like a stance car though.
True.
It's actually like as far as
How many bearings do they go through?
operating,
Right.
as far as vehicle operation, you just can't see what you're doing. Whereas a
So,
squatted car
and
can't
They're
avoid what they're
moving
seeing.
oil pickups and oil returns and stuff in those things.
Oh, they
A lot
are?
of them are. Yeah. I mean, they're probably
Just so
not.
they can get them so
I know
low.
some of them are because I posted a picture when
Oh yes.
I couldn't say
Something
anything
like
yet. I haven't photoshopped the rest of it.
You haven't released it yet.
They only did half my lift on my truck, and so we posted a picture of it all squatted with the big
Oh,
wheels on it.
I seen that.
And it was like 180 comments. Like right now, people were like legit mad. Like lost all respect for you. Like all like dude, they were
I'm done. I'm
dead
pulling all
ass.
the sky high wire out of my build.
I probably really were.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And there's
Energy
people
about
calling me
it.
like,
He's
"You
your
were messaging
friend.
me."
Yeah.
Hi, we've never talked, but fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you post something like, I'm going to do it for real now?
Yeah, for real.
Get a truck,
Dead
squat it, but stance it also.
Oh.
You have to have us.
Put 30-inch spinners on it like that.
But hubcaps, spinner hubcaps.
Oh,
Get the
yeah,
steel
yeah.
wheels with the spinner hubcaps. That just set it off.
Big flex.
Yeah.
And then it stands it so much that there's no rubber touching. It's all metal.
Stretch tires. You're on some serious shit.
Yep.
Oh,
There's your
man.
Spartan innovations, right?
Right.
Exactly.
You gonna give somebody an award for that?
Yeah.
Like this is, you're so innovative. Here you are, bro. I'm their proudest fuck.
If someone
Oh
does
my
that,
God,
they do deserve something.
Well, maybe it should be like a dare. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
hey, you want an award and $100 gift card to our store?
There's a half a dozen fucking 20-year-olds fucking trying to build that shit now.
That'd be a good Dick Riculous award.
So they, when we were competing when we were young, it was my first competition. I had my Beretta, and
World's worst competition or something.
no, it was the worst, the worst install. And I entered my car for the worst install. And I lost to this one guy. I was second place. I lost to this guy that had a,
That's second to last.
yeah, I know. But I was like mad about it because like we had my
Fuck that, my car's way shittier. I did a way shittier job of that.
Like arguing for it.
we had it was
Is
that
your power wire against the terminal and like zip tied or
yeah.
We
We didn't
smaller wire to tie.
because
it.
we didn't have the tools.
Not even as good as zip tie. It's a piece of baling wire.
Yeah, we didn't have the right tools to take off the terminal. So it was a ring terminal.
How
And
old were you?
16.
16. Yeah.
Okay,
probably
He's
just
gonna
over.
excuse you.
Well, wait, no. He did the install of the 8-gauge wire that
Through
was
the door jam.
that was through the door jam,
House wire.
and it was house
Yeah.
wiring. It's like you had to bend it like this.
That's a good old days.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
We should do that again.
Yeah, I mean.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're
we're
live,
We're
man.
live. We've been
How do
there.
I tell my wife where to find us?
12E Talk or youtube.com/12E Talk.
Go to the Facebook page. It's
Not
there.
red tube.
Yeah. Well, it's autocorrect. It's autocorrect. It wasn't-
It's looking up thing for
It's all RedTube /upload.
It's not typed that very often.
Right.
It's a puzzle.
Do we have people coming into the chat?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we got some.
Like 64 people.
Yeah, so people
12
ask
each
about
time, right?
yeah. So he went
Yeah.
home, so he's not.
Yeah,
he wasn't
/12
available to
each time.
come. We tried to
All
get
in
him,
one, and
but,
it'll send her to the
we saw him
link.
at the show, but
Did he bring out?
Or
I don't
youtube.com.
think he
I
did.
don't think he
No,
brought
he didn't.
anything. No, they're getting ready to move, so he was dealing with all that stress. So.
Got another super chat from David Koslick.
Oh yeah, another one. Yeah. We
There you go.
posted that one up
Should
just a
do it.
minute ago. So Ed, you've been in SPL for a long time, like
95.
since '95. So what do you feel like today? You know, when you go to a show today versus what you used to kind of go to, is the vibe different? Is the
Actually,
how
we're
you
talking
describe
about
it? Right.
So my perception has changed because of my my physical perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be I was the loner. The social awkwardness and everything, and I just would go to a show. I'd go to compete, get my points. I'd sit at the end of the parking lot by myself, and people didn't really do demos. It's not like they come by, hey, can I get a demo? Like we didn't really do that.
Gotcha.
It was sitting by myself, just getting my points and looking at other builds, and oh, there's that guy, and oh, look at that car, and then it's over, and I go home. I didn't know about after parties and talking to people, making business contacts, anything like that. Now, I walk around and people, hey, come check this out. Come take a. Hey, I want you to take a look at this. I got a question, this and that. So it helps with the social anxiety that I'm invited to those builds, and I don't have to hey, can I check this out?
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier in that respect, but also I think there's a level of camaraderie. Either I'm seeing it more
No,
because of my status,
agree.
or it's just there more that we're all like, hey, we're all in this. There were people here that we've had harsh words through political comments
Sure,
on Facebook, and we're at the show like, great to see you, man. Check out the build, and this and that. I love this stuff, all that, and it's great. It's hey,
Should have punched him in the face.
I mean, it is kind of like a safe zone.
Yeah,
That's kind of the way I
it
see
is.
it.
Yeah,
Is even though we all may not have the same thoughts, the same visions, it just, I don't know, it feels like the safe place to be. And everybody was cool. I mean,
Everyone's
everybody I ran
happy.
into was just, come check out my build. It's good to see you on YouTube, all that. So it was all positive. I didn't really feel any negative.
Yeah, I see so many
Vibes at all.
smiles, and I think I see that more now. That's one of, if you talk about the vibe that has changed. People are happier with their builds and not as stressed to get to the show and get points because they're not strictly competing. And competition was harsher back in the day. I mean, you needed 100 points. Points were harder to get because the fields were always full.
Yeah.
I fought tooth and nail for years to get 15th place in World Finals, and I was happy. Now it's there's competition, and it's still hard, but more of it's like I'm here hanging out with my
Just
crew,
chilling.
and I got my buddies who are from other states and I never get to see, and we get to shoot the shit about audio stuff that we love. So everyone's like happy. Like I'm not just listening to my own build. Now I get to listen to 50 others.
Yeah.
And get inspiration of how I'm going to maybe work on mine next because, that guy did that. I got to beat him next time.
Right.
Friendly competition, not stressed out like, I spent all this money. No, it's friendly and it's inspiration. I love that feel. It's for us, and we were remarking on that, how the shows are just successful we cannot sell a thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the show is still a huge success for us because of the feedback, the interaction, and just the conversations we have. It's
Yeah.
great.
What do you guys think, Bobby and John, about like the West Coast scene versus what you guys saw today? I
I
mean,
think
is
it's
it
extremely similar.
extremely similar. So
Oh,
it's
really?
like,
I mean, shoot, like
The vibe, same thing. Like
Yeah,
people are-
totally. Everybody's real positive. I think the demo stuff makes it so that spectators. I mean, John and I are spectators today.
We
Yeah.
had this conversation earlier. Actually.
right.
Without demos, when I used to go to shows back, he's got a spider on his hand.
Oh, I thought you were like getting ready to
He was
wave
gonna
to
do a magnet.
somebody. There's a spider.
Yeah,
We're going in.
Everybody, come on! Don't leave me hanging.
Why? I was trying to figure out what are you doing there?
I was casting a spell on
Yeah,
him.
it fell on me. It's like, stop talking. Stop.
It wasn't
I want
working.
to hear you gave me your heel story. So yes, he'll be, oh, Satan man, get out of here, little weird drinky guy. Hobbit, little Satan man.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I cut you guys.
I'm sorry. He
It's
made
very
me sorry
similar.
for Rich. He's
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry,
I'm
it's
gonna
him.
drink it.
This-
My friend, he's had a lot of water.
I drove Toxie a little bit more.
So it's very similar.
Oh my God.
On the
But
West Coast,
having
yeah.
demo vehicles makes, so here's the thing. For me, I love car audio. And until there was like at least base race in competition, I couldn't fucking stand going to a show.
Yeah.
I thought it was, I mean, there's gonna be guys all pissed off at me, but fuck 'em. I fucking hated it. I'd go and I'd be like, and it was the most anticlimactic thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I'm like, they're like, hey, can I hear your car? No, I gotta save my batteries.
Right.
I'm like, I built it. Put me in your fucking car. I built your box. Turn it on.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm worried about I'm not worried about your batteries. Walk around a whole show and like not be able to like. I wanted, and I didn't. It wasn't called a demo then. I wanted to go around and hear a bunch of badass beat.
Yep.
And there were very few people that were willing to do that.
Wow.
I'd go, there'd be 24 vehicles at a show, and there's guys who are like, and some of them that were like, yeah, I'm happy to show you my build, but it's an SPL rig and it only plays 50 hertz, but hop in.
Be perfect for you.
And it's like, bong, bong. And you're like, oh, shit. That's fucking loud as fuck. It's kind of scary. It sounds terrible. What the fuck? He's like, I built it to sound terrible.
Oh, right.
I did this on purpose. And you're like, okay, well, thank you. That's cool. It was an amazing release of energy. I'd be, optimistic and like, that was fucking cool. But then I had a customer that became a really good friend of mine. His name's Tim Rudansky, and he was a 2-time base race world champion. And he came into my shop and was like, I just wanted to check it out. A friend of mine told me that this was a really cool shop. And I gave him the bro deal, and I don't do fucking bro deals at all. But this dude was like really nice, and he was, like less than a year out of prison, and he was super polite, and was like, I saved my money, and I want to have, and he had like a pretty good amp, and I knew his car would fit this box I had sitting in my shop, and I was like, how much money have I? And if he would have been, I got $52, I would have given him these fucking subs in a box. It was acrylic.
Oh,
Right. And mirrors inside and subs in it. Whatever the hell he had. He's like, I have $221. And I was like, you do? You can have this. Let's put it in your car. And we put it in. And it was like Saturday, midday. The next day he went to a show and he won. And everybody was flipping out about his box. And then he was fucking hooked. In 10 years of him busting his ass. And driving he'd go to finals. He'd drive across the whole country from Sacramento to go to finals like 3-4 times, and he loved it. He worked his ass off. And base race is what created demos, because people would be like, oh, I built it so that it would sound awesome, and then I base race and I do the 39.9 class. And there'd be guys with 212s or a couple 15s, and they could do a 39.9 no problem,
right?
Like easy peasy. So it was like, 50 on music. And then you get in these things and you're like, motherfucker, this is bad. And you could drive around like that. Mm-hmm. And that was when that became a thing. And then lithium batteries happened.
Yep.
And then shit stepped up a lot,
I didn't even see it change myself. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know like when it happened.
I was there at the first base race. And then Bob Perillo, trying to base race 59.9s and whatnot. And then he tried to base race in the 60s. to try and get us high. And I think he base raced like 67 or 68. And this is back in what, 2007, probably, something like that.
Wow.
And, you know, mid to high 160s, 30-second music was a thing. And people would see stuff like, and oh, yeah, well, I can get a 68 in bass. I'll do a real 69. So it started
And
small.
then people would be like, I want to get in there for that.
Yeah. Paul Campbell did it. He sat in Bob Frillo's, and the next day, it was a 2-day show. The next day, he was all bruised up because he sat in the kick panel getting a 168 dB demo, like in a Super Street, one of the loudest vehicles at the time. And his abdomen is all beat up and everything. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
He was in there for the entire run, getting just,
Oh, God.
yeah.
Like sealed up in it or some wild shit or open
Sounds
up
terrible.
or something.
Yeah, he was right in the kick.
No.
Anything that has one of those humps in it, they're like, climb over. Fuck.
No.
Yeah, I'm good.
But that's the thing.
I
like,
want it
hooked a
to
lot
be
of
loud,
people
and I
that
want
do
it
that.
to-
You see the doors going crazy, and he could break a windshield on command. He'd just go one volume click up, and he knew where that click was to bust
send
it.
the shield, yeah.
And people, oh yeah, like yeah, well that's $400 out of my money.
And a
can't drive over.
shitload of work. Yeah, and I got this fucking thing.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot more people that aren't competitors or don't have a car or anything like that, just coming to be around it. You know what I mean? To watch it because it's interesting. It's not so mechanical and like there for a very specific reason to get your points and everything. It's like it's a spectator type of.
Yeah,
Well, and that's good for everybody, right? Because it brings more people that might want to buy your products or your products. And it, you know, the way I think of it is it's like going to a theme park for a day, right? Because I walk around and it's like, what ride am I going to do now? You know,
The
it's
first
like,
time I saw is EXO said it in one of his videos.
Yeah.
This is years ago. And he was in Clippo. And he was like, this is like a ride.
it is.
And I was like, oh my God, it's right.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking amusement park.
You need the rope
I
out.
was just thinking about about it is a couple weeks ago at the Sky High Barbecue. A friend of mine, this one Danae, she brought her family out, and she had her son, and her son he's like 9 or 8,
Yeah.
and he was in a foul, and he was like, Christ, like I don't want to look at cars. There's gonna be nothing for me to do, and he was like hella grumpy. And when they came walking up, and I'm like, what's up, little dude? You look hella grumpy. Don't be grumpy. And I said to John, I was
Looking
like,
eye to eye, don't know.
yeah. He's like, he's 10.
It took me a couple
I
seconds.
looked up at him and I said, hey, little 10-year-old boy, that's 6 foot taller than me. But he was like, oh, and he's like, gave me a little attitude. And I'm like, well, have fun. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, good luck with that. Half an hour later, this kid runs up. He's got a Sky High tattoo on his cheek. He's got a lanyard thing around his neck, shitting on him. And he's like, I got in the red one, and I got in the black one, and I got in the one with the girl. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, he's having fun now? And his mom's like, yes. It was like somewhere along the way. I think it was Jake Bridges' girlfriend. And she's a pretty blonde girl, and she's real nice. And she was like, hey, little dude, you want to get in this truck? And he probably was like, whatever you say. And he's like, get in. And it's like Jake's truck, and it is like brutal. And he was probably like,
He's getting levitated.
and then the kid was just giving him thumbs. He's like, you give me thumbs up until you don't want to do it anymore. And Jake was like, I was clipping. I was trying to tap him after a little while. You know, and yeah, he's like, what the fuck? Everybody's jumped out of this thing all day. You know, and it's like, this little shithead kid. And the kid's like, yeah. And so, anyway, and then the kid's like, you know, a couple hours later, he's like, I got in the red one again. I'm like, this is awesome.
Wow.
And so it is. It's like an amusement park.
is,
Now,
yeah.
you go to one of these events, and I like, yeah, I'm not going to go there. But sometimes the guys that are competing, and they're like, oh, I got to save my batteries, or my coils are hot, and I got to compete in a little while. It's like, oh, you're missing an opportunity.
Yeah.
To which, I mean, I get it. Compete. I love it. Do that shit. But the spectators don't give a fuck
Right. Yes.
about your
Right.
run or your score
Right.
or anything else. So, yeah. And I don't understand how anybody is really into a lot of the like regular like club event style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this bro, look it out. Dude. And you're like, oh, good
Well,
job,
I mean-
first place. And when there was nobody in your class. Good job.
Yeah, even
Awesome.
I mean,
You're a
even
winner.
the sound quality stuff years ago was kind of the same way because people were real super hyper careful with their systems. They didn't want anybody to listen to them. They didn't want anybody to sit in the car because you might mess up the sound stage or something. So it was the same way. It was like, this is not fun.
Yeah.
Right.
But they
Couple
even
years
loosened
ago-
that up now too. So
I
they're
hope
letting
so.
people listen to the
I
cars.
was at Surf in 17 or 18, and it was the SQ day, and all 13 of the vehicles that they had there, and you couldn't play a base vehicle anywhere at the event because of these very small group of guys in their SQ thing.
Mhm.
And so I was like, well, okay, let's go listen to all these fucking cars. I bet they're amazing. And me and Will Welcher,
Yeah.
the Camera Hammer, wandered over there, and we walked up to this group of guys, and we were standing there, and we chatted briefly, and this guy in this car, and I was like, can I check out your audio system? And he's like, oh, well, those guys are judging right now. And I'm standing next to a car, and I can hardly hear that there's music playing inside of that car.
No, don't do it. I'm coming right back.
SPL guy, but I've also done some sound cue with him in the past. It wasn't too thrilling for us, but being more there for SPL, and then now they want to move the SPL guys further away. The demos are starting more there, right? And it would throw off all the judging and sound cue people, and they don't want to hear it at all. So they're in a completely different building or outside or something, so separated. So you're there to see car audio as a spectator. Here's all the loud cars. There's all the good. They're in different buildings now. You got to walk and know where to find it. So usually the sound cue stuff never gets seen.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, they don't want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get everyone some drinks.
Okay, so I have a customer, and I put this beautiful amp rack inside this audio system. He's a sound quality competitor guy. He put this really nice stuff, and we helped him with his A-pillar install. We ran all his wires. He did most of the rest of the install himself, and he took it and finished it all up. And some tune guy tuned it, and he was ecstatic. And he had done a couple of what's happening here? I'm frozen.
It's our great internet connection. I don't think you're frozen here.
But so he brings the vehicle back. I got it tuned, and I did a show, and I got third, and everybody loves it, and it's awesome. And he's like, you got to check it out. He puts me in the vehicle, and he cranks it up, and I was like, and it was like, how loud do they have you? And he's like, loud. Really? He's like, oh yeah, they had me cranking it like very loud. Awesome. He's got a lot of power. I'm like, get in, cranks it up, and he's playing music, and I'm like, and I'm all,
Are you there yet?
is this the loud? And he's like, well, I can go a little more. And he like turns it up a little bit, and I'm like, I can like still hear you talk. And I'm like, it sounds really pretty, but like the stock audio system in my F-150 that sounds like shit is louder than this. Doesn't sound as good.
Yeah.
But this needs to be a lot more. Like I at least I want it to sound better, but it needs to also be loud and louder.
At least like in the
And it
100
was-
40
it was like-
dB range.
And he's like, man,
I think it's building connection, moving.
and I
With
have
Wi-Fi.
a good friend of mine that has a
That's why
Ford
it's
Ranger,
freezing.
and I have a 2-channel amp,
Oh, really?
high
Yeah, I
end
think
set of
so.
components.
Okay. We can
It's all
drop
sound
it.
dense.
It's too bad.
2 8s,
Well, we could just
500 watt amp running each 8. I mean,
Oh,
this
you
is like
talking
the
about
easiest
Yeah,
SQ
like
goes
it's
world.
like trying to
Component,
I think the Wi-Fi.
nice
Yeah,
head unit,
set up.
and I tuned that thing really nicely. And I'm like, let me show you my friend's work truck over here. Put him in it. Turn it up. It's like a little louder than where his audio system was. And what do you think of that means? This
Blew his mind.
is, you could fucking, man, this is so good. And I'm like, okay. And I turn, and then he's like, oh my God. And it still sounds really, really good. It's so loud. And he's like, and I'm like, I don't know why this is my experience over and over again with SQ guys, is that they're like anti-loud. They're like, do you hear how quiet it is?
Well, I mean, do you have
It's so gentle.
answers
Look,
for that?
even when you can't hear the noise floor at all. I'm like, well, I don't fucking care. If it's not loud at all, then, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, there's sacrifices get made. I can have
You
a
can't
little
roll
bit
your
of
windows down in the school
Right.
zone without
Right.
losing your whole stereo.
Yeah, exactly. No, I want it to be loud, and it doesn't have to be a 50. It doesn't even have to be a 40.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to have bandwidth and sound beautiful.
Yeah.
Impact.
But like, yeah, you got to feel it.
I want
a
to
little
be
bit.
punched in the chest.
I want it to sound elegant and beautiful. And,
Yeah.
But
How about like similar to a live event? Let's say you want to go watch a live band play.
even
You're
if
gonna
you're
feel
even
it.
if you're way the hell in the back and you're on the second deck,
Yeah.
if you turn to the person next to you, you have to fucking scream at them. This is awesome, right? If I'm sitting in a car with you and you're like, "Do you like the way this sounds?" You're like, no,
This is
no, you fucking turn the volume up. Give me a screwdriver. I'm turning up all your fucking gains. I don't care. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't care who tuned this and you paid him fucking $600. He was tuning it for 7 hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, he sucks. He's playing 15 minutes in my ears. This is gonna be twice as good. And I don't know why this is a thing. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of guys that'll like use a whole bunch of jargon and they'll go, oh, and I use all this software and I do all this shit, and in the end, it's really just salesy bullshit.
It's like what we were talking
promote
about the
their
other day about the $20,000 RCAs and up to the $1 million RCAs at CES. They have the home audio crowd.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and,
you're like-
and they're directional too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They code it in like I don't even know what.
Virgin skin. I don't know.
Four standards.
Foreskin.
Oh, the most rare, the rarest of all foreskins.
No,
Actually.
wait. Non-virgin foreskin. That's going to be more rare. I bet. I mean, Cole, you're in for that.
Oh, so getting back to what you were saying about the kid, there was a story I heard today about a 14-year-old that basically came into like the group of people and said, "I can't believe I'm gonna be doing this one day." You know, he's like he had these aspirations. I guess because his dad was getting into the hobby or something like that. And remember we were talking about like you want your car to inspire kids. You know what I mean? Like they look at cars and they say, "Oh, I might want to get into that hobby." This was like the beginning of that for that 14-year-old kid. Like he couldn't wait
You
to
saw
be
it
able
in
to.
person?
No, I heard it, but the way it was described to me was like he had found something. He discovered
of the
something.
basehead.
Yeah, and I can't wait. I'm gonna inherit my dad's car, and I'm gonna compete and stuff.
Well,
I'm gonna do this one day.
and I have to say, I'm pointing the camera at Parker, but the way you portray that in your videos is the way that it's being described here, because you're always so like excited.
I get a lot of young people that comment and say, "You got me into
Yeah,
basehead and stuff."
it's because the
So-
enthusiasm. You should.
Yep.
EXO does the same thing. It's
Yep.
like
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys are having the best day of your life, and people are, they're with you watching the video, and to them, it's like I'm on the ride. I'm here with Parker, and this is cool, and that helps. I mean, it helps so much. You don't even realize how much it pumps people up. So that's really cool.
It's great for the industry. Yeah, it really is.
And the first demos, it's always really cool too. Someone's like, that was my first demo ever. They've never been in a build like that. And you just like let it rip. And you're like, you get the reaction at first, and then they kind of settle into it. And you're like, whoa.
You gave my girlfriend Susie.
Yeah,
First demo
at
ever.
Excess Power.
All
Yeah.
right. And our employee Kate brought her two girls. One's 8 and one's 12.
Scott's truck, maybe she got.
Was that the first one, or I thought it was JP's?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was JP, and the video is actually online. You see their faces, these giant smiles, like they. It was just pure like joy. You know what I mean? It's so great. And you,
I'll ride at Disney World.
well, yeah.
You coaching around. The first time I put my wife in John Nolte's Blazer,
Oh my god.
And I'm like, it's not gonna hurt you. She's like, are you sure it's all metal and shit? I'm like, I promise. And it was like, boom, it was an instant mega hair trick, and she's just like, smiling. She can't like you put her in like if you find demos that have my wife, her name's Allison, and if you find and there's John Note videos and other vehicles and like the Tahoe that we just recently finished, and she just can't stop the cheese in it. It's like, oh no,
she just commented.
Yeah,
she loved it.
she's amazing. I love her. She's the most wonderful person in the world.
Extra points.
Extra, yeah. He said it live. It's on wax now.
And see, that's the thing. And people who are outsiders, oh, you're going to hurt your ears. You know, we all hear that. You'll go deaf. Well,
Karens in the world.
Just go deaf, kid.
Get it
done.
Get your ears
Say
out.
something, man.
Family will argue and be like, no, my ears work better because of this shit. He's like, there's no way it's hurting my ears. I hear perfect. I'm like, oh, and he'll like go on, and I'm like, I kind of agree. But I'm like, you don't have a lot of good argument here. Like, it's fucking fine. Like,
there
it hurts
is
a lot.
some basis to that with because our ears are frequency dependent. There's a curve to sensitivity. So actually exercising those little hairs in your ears, not to the point where they're breaking over, you know, but exercising them helps your brain communicate more efficiently to those sensors. Just like anything, if you don't use something, you'll lose it, but the more you exercise
So
it,
like 15 hertz is like,
I love it.
it's like,
Well, so-
I got bread for the lows, man.
Hashtag science.
I don't know where I heard this, but they said that the highest population per capita of people that have lost their hearing is Alaskans, and it's because there's so much snow up there that it's all absorbed, and it's usually very, very quiet. And when they go to ice fish, they usually take a shotgun and they blow a hole in the ground before they go fishing, and the shock to their ears is like like too much. It goes from complete silence that they're not used to that, and they
it's
lose
like
their
being
hearing.
inside in the dark for a long time and then
Yeah.
exposed to
Yes,
light.
a long time ago I heard that. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
it
how
just-
accurate it is, but it did make a whole lot of sense when I heard it.
How's the feed?
It's good. It's fine now. His
Yeah,
just
we're good.
dropped. That one did, but we're still good here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amateur hour.
15.
This
We're
is-
crazy seeing people.
Don't
Lose
tell everybody
whole
watching.
entire thing 45 minutes in.
No,
And I'll follow
it's-
a cockfighting.
It's being recorded online, so we don't have
Yeah.
to worry about losing it. So it's all good.
Yeah, last night was not a thing.
It didn't happen. I will say,
The first
Bobby's
half didn't.
he's preaching to the choir about the SQ thing. I've been saying this on this show for a long time. Like,
And
I
you're
want,
an SQ guy.
yeah, I know,
Yeah.
and I
Like,
want a
SQ
louder
guys can
demo.
You can still
Yeah,
have
yeah,
fun.
you're lucky you didn't get punched.
Yeah. What's that?
You're lucky you didn't get punched.
The quietest
Well, you know-
punch ever.
You know, they're like to the. I'm in the middle, like to the SQ guys, I'm an SPL guy. To the SPL guys, I'm an SQ guy.
Right.
So it's like they're like, well, you know, where do you fit? And like, yeah, I like to listen to the nuance of sound. But after we do that, show me what you listen to when you're driving down the road.
Yeah.
And if I can't hear, like, if you have 1,200 watts on a 15-inch sub, and I can't feel it, there's something. There's something.
Right.
I know 143.6 with a Ryan 15 on a 20-something-year-old amp that only put out around 600 watts. So, like, I need
Something
something.
wrong or
Yeah.
whatever. I will say something about SoundQ. He and I, Rich and I, when we were younger and just getting into that and doing the first like more high-end type installs, and he had the old school MB Quartz, like before they were sold to other companies, whatever, you know, when they were like true MB Quartz. And we would listen to pieces of music that we've listened to in home audio, and then we would hear instruments or little things that we never knew were there.
Yep. And I haven't heard
You
him
hear Michael
since.
Jackson take a breath between.
Yeah.
And you go,
So it's like-
I heard
Or
an
the
SQ
guitar
car
strings.
at CES. This dude gave this dude $100 to turn this car on for 1 minute, even though he wasn't supposed to do it. This is in like 2005. It was like a world champion car,
Right.
and he was like, "I'll give you $100 to turn this thing on for fucking 1 minute." He fired that thing up, and he was like, "Fuck it." He's like, "It's not loud." We all got in, right? I'm in the back seat of this fucking thing. This thing is not tuned for the fucking back seat, right? And there's three of us in the back seat, and this fucking older guy is listening to it in the front, and we're listening to it, and he's playing like parts of a Michael Jackson CD, and we were probably in there for 10 minutes, but you could hear, and my friend Ryan is like, dude, you could hear him like take this tiny little breath between there. But this demo we had was loud.
Yeah.
And it sounded amazing.
Right.
It was like, we were in and the guy was like, sorry, it's not really for I'm like, it sounded fucking awesome. I was like, dude, this is cool. But, you know, and there's things like that. So even if, like, in their defense, if they're like, I don't like to fucking be loud, fuck off. That's fine. But how about show me what you like?
Yeah.
Break it down.
Yeah.
I went to a baseball game, and it was like damn near a no-hitter. And my buddy was like, this is amazing. And I'm like, this is boring as fuck. I'm like, and he's like, and I'm like chugging beers. And I'm like, oh, you're fucking. And then he like started to break it down to me. He's like, it's the battle between the batters and the fucking pitcher and the whole. And I'm like, okay. So he kind of sold me on it a little bit. And by the end, and then finally, like, there's a hit. And I'm like, this guy's probably more brokenhearted about his one hitter than he would have been if he would have, you know, would have had fucking attendance. So we had this like whole conversation about it. It was interesting. Well, but if I'm standing there and there's a bunch of guys and they're like, oh, it's Bobby Gailey and he's a fucking SPL guy and I don't even want to give him a demo because he's gonna be fucking. Well, at least show me how I can enjoy it.
But if they're passionate and enthusiastic, you want that to come across through how they talk about it, and you can pick
sell that shit.
But you might
Show
not have
me
the same
why
point
it's
of view.
awesome.
That's the thing. And somebody needs to be like, hey, this.
Yeah. If
I vastly underestimated this.
Right.
Which I didn't even realize until I've been Buck SQ, right? Me. Until like, real talk.
Right.
Until maybe a year ago, I'm like, Bobby, I want this car to sound really good. Help me out. And I didn't do shit. Bobby built full enclosures for 8s in the doors, and they're all turned on access, and the tweeters and the GTR, and they're, you know, little 2 6.5 subs. I'm like, this is fucking gay. Like, I hate this thing. But you turn it on, and I'm like, got it. I understand. And that's recently. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then we started screwing with the tuning, and we're doing this, and I'm like, oh, my truck does sound this good. This is complicated. Holy fuck. And then I'm like, it's a whole new thing. Now I'm like, everything has to sound amazing.
Yeah.
But before it was like, if
But
it
it's
doesn't
still
fucking
loud.
peel my head back, fuck that thing.
Yeah,
right.
That's just how I was always like
But
that.
now it can peel your head back at every
Yes.
frequency.
Well, we built a van that we just debuted at our barbecue. It has 28 12s on the back, all outside, 28 12s, 16 horns, 16 tweeters, 100,000 watts, 128,000 watts. But like, and it sounds fucking decent from like 400 feet. It starts
like
phasing like when you're way back there.
Yeah.
Dude, you can like feel the ground, and I'm like, this thing sounds better than the shit that I was building. But now we have this new perspective that we're putting into everything that we're doing now.
There
So
you go.
it's, yeah, I
We
don't
can
know.
please more people that way too.
Yeah, I want to hear
Or
that.
piss more
I want to hear.
people off.
I want to hear stunt wall, like one of the Brazilian ones where they're just like.
They do hurt.
Yeah.
Do not get close.
I know.
Just-
Oh, I'm hammered his ear.
It's always fun to see people like run up to them and then it starts playing and they all start running away. I'm ready for that.
Yeah,
that is something
John's,
that will hurt.
John's rig was like I was in front of it, and I was like, oh. And I see Johnny, and Johnny's like fucking 30 feet away at the end of the
We have a
umbilical.
50-foot. He made a whole box, like a whole big old
It's
crate.
like a
It's like
suitcase.
it's a
thing that he
suitcase,
opens.
and he carries it around.
It's got a DSP in it and shit.
Yeah,
Seriously, it's fucking.
yeah. We
badass.
made custom RCA's that are like 70 feet or whatever the fuck, 50 feet. And he's standing back there. He gets his whole fucking briefcase out, and he's like, "You're like, what the fuck?"
He's playing it, and I'm looking, and he's making funny faces. like it's fucking, and it's like hitting him. I'm like, oh. And I'm like jogging over there, and as I like kind of get into the line of fire, I'm like, oh, I'm like scared. I'm like, I like run up to Johnny, and I'm like, that's fucking nuts. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm like, I'm done with that fucking thing. It was brutal.
You seen the videos of the tractor trailer in South America they got?
Yeah, from like 500 feet.
Yeah,
So
and it's
yeah.
like blowing
Gas
dust and
blowing
bits of
and-
good. People are covering their eyes because the dirt
People
is
see the
they're
dirt,
fucking
yeah,
burning away. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's doing a hair trick at like 100 feet.
Like they're like,
Yeah.
Oh my
Actual,
God.
you sound
Yeah,
coming
you see it
through there.
propagate out.
Oh my god.
And you see the people happy at first until it hits.
Yeah. When there's like a huge crowd and everybody's like, and they're like fucking making a break for it. You're
You
like,
see the wave of people walking back.
Yeah,
There's a
like,
girl.
"I am
There's
outta
a girl that fainted right next to our booth
Today.
today.
oh, no,
Today
shit.
for the heat.
She passed out. Yeah, she was sitting down. She called her boyfriend that she was blacking out, and she just got that out before she went down. And so I was first over, and her body starts to like shake a little bit, and then he comes over and he's like trying to shake her, wake her up. Anyway, get her in Scotty's trailer. She's cooling down. The EMTs come, and while they're getting her blood pressure and everything, and the one girl standing in the middle, and I think it was the Crescendo, the orange one.
Yeah.
They start to play, right? Well, she goes, someone turn the radio on? Because she thought it was someone turned it on in the trailer. She's like, where are the speakers? I'm like, no, that's coming from outside. She goes, no, I mean this song. I'm like, no, that's coming from outside.
You mean the one that we were trying to have a conversation?
Yeah.
And you were like, I can't hear. I'm like, we're just gonna read your lips. It's all day. Like we just did that at the barbecue, like all day. There's like something doing that. Me and John are talking about dozens of people.
We have a problem or something. Walk around.
We done the same thing with them at their booth.
We did. Yeah, we're like, we'll come back.
Yeah, we'll
No, we made it through. We had a whole,
comes up.
we like made a business deal and everything. It was kind of cool.
Except no one knows what the business deal was about because I couldn't hear it.
I had.
No, you guys signed. It's over.
Yeah.
That's us, we're dead.
Oh,
shit.
That's what we were talking
I
about.
didn't know. I had to ask you that.
oh man.
Well, we had bass coming in. Derek's got no sub.
But it
And-
sounds like it, right?
And you're sitting there like, Derek, D, cut down the sub, man. Cut it down a little bit. He's like, yeah, this is the truck right there.
He's got flex going on, no woofers.
Yeah.
The
The
rear view mirrors. I'm
I
talking
video
like
when
you
we
had a real
first got
sub in
there and
there.
got in the car. I turned the camera on and I was showing the rear view mirror and it was doing this
Yeah.
for somebody else.
You were
It'll be a
like,
good
my
video."
radio is not playing.
Is
Yeah,
that me?
your mirror breaks off and somebody else is fucking.
I think that could be real. I think it could happen.
I mean, somebody could fucking do that.
Yeah, somebody could do it.
Chris was
Why'd you deaden your
Chris
whole
Lee
car if you don't have
flip
this?
phone, just like fucking right next to somebody.
Yeah.
Now I want to see it. That'll be a good video.
Yeah. You got it on video? The
Shaking mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, shaking
Oh,
his
yeah.
mirror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make one of the footage from today.
We-
I tried
we-
to get some, but it
Yeah.
was intense. It was hot and
But Byron was driving last night, trying to get him to roll his window down. Like, turn the subs down, sir. A little loud.
You funny. So who has been to Sundown shows in years past? Like, have you seen? Is this one bigger? Same.
This is bigger.
This one dumped on last year, dude.
Yeah,
We missed last year. You know.
Still a good show, but
The
this
guy,
was-
I feel like
guess
last
the-
year was pretty big. Though.
the original
So the year
people,
before
they
wasn't,
ran-
but I think of the COVID, like last year it was packed.
Was it?
Yeah.
We weren't here then.
The timing was probably just right.
It was.
Yeah.
Like everything was shut down. Nobody could do anything, and this was like the only show.
That's
Right.
true, yeah.
And like, I remember showing up and like, I couldn't find parking at first. Like, I showed up at like 10, and like, I couldn't believe it because like every other year I had come, you could get in easy. Like it was busy, but it wasn't like
There's
that.
a weird mood around it, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like with the whole COVID thing last year.
Yeah,
You know what?
it was.
That was at Surf.
Yeah.
Surf was so weird. Like that was fucking weird.
We were there for like 12 minutes.
No, we were there for like 3 hours. Told her no, and I wanted to get the fuck out of there.
Just a weird vibe from people.
Well, we drove.
Well, that is, we were having a lot of fun riding around in the side by sides, and so it was like when we get done here, we're gonna go. And it was like we went through, and it was Saturday, and it was the fucking SQ day, and there's like literally, like okay, look, if there was fucking 50 SQ cars, and they were like, look, guys, we got a fucking, we got our thing going on, and you guys can't play, but there's like 100 fucking demo vehicles and 50 more that are competition vehicles of SPL. And there was like maybe 2 fucking dozen SQ cars. And that shit went on all fucking day. And we're not allowed to do shit. It was like, so, and I love meeting with people, and I love hanging out with people, and I love doing that. But I really love to like, people are like, hey, and fucking, you did my box or my build and I'm like, let's go check it out. And they're like, we can't. Like, you can look at it. And it's like let's go. We'll go look at it. And we hike across. And it's like, yeah. I'm like, I remember it. I was in my shop. I put it on a pallet and I shipped it to you. And it's fucking beautiful. Thanks. Like,
can I hear it?
Yeah.
can we? Let's go to the store. Oh, fucking good idea. We're like driving to the fucking store to get a fucking demo. I'm like, I'm at Surf City Sound Off. And I can't get a demo unless I get in this truck and drive 2 fucking miles away. I'm like, okay. And then we like come back And then, and then there's lots of people with like nothing to do. And so they're like, oh, it's Bob Gately and John Rabbie and blah, 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 blah. And we're talking, and I'll chat with people all fucking day long. Okay, don't even stop talking ever. But it's like, I lost my voice.
Every day with this guy.
Whatever.
I'm like, I don't have 3 hours. I gotta go this.
Hands full, can't talk.
It raises an issue though,
But
because like if the Sound Q guys have the power and you demo over it anyway, are they gonna say next year we're not having demo people and SPL people? Or there's so many SPL and demo people now, and you just say whatever.
You got to separate them by days or something, or times. Like they got to be there before.
SPL builds, get them to catch the bug. Be like, hey, come check these out.
You're like, fucking deal with it. And then just see how it goes.
Here's
And
a
it's like,
160
I
at
mean,
20
really,
hours.
it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, okay, it's one thing to be like, hey, you got to be over there. Like,
Put us in the trailer parking lot on Saturday. Be done with it.
yeah, like fucking something other than you can't play your shit at all.
Let's just meet up at the funeral home.
Yeah, and then- you're not gonna piss them off. They're fucking dead already. I'm serious. That's disrespectful. They're fucking dead. They don't care. And if they're not, there's a chance. Right? Like you might save someone's fucking life.
Wait for the day.
I'm trying to save someone's life just in case they're not fucking dead. I'm trying to
Kickstart the heart.
Yeah. That's right. Song about it a long time ago. When I was a kid. But and so we're there, and 3 hours later, I've talked to fucking 36 people, and I checked out an audio system, and drove away to go get a fucking demo, and came back, and I'm like, this is just standing around talking to people, and we can go and get in your side by side and drink moonshine and fucking get down on sand dunes and fucking die doing nothing. Let's go. And so we were like, and we left, and we went back to another different sand dune spot, and we rode side by side for the rest of the fucking weekend, and it was awesome. And
we didn't find a hotel barely.
No, barely. Yeah, it sucked.
There wasn't a fucking hotel room on the western seaboard.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Vacation
crazy.
time, I guess.
I don't know.
Well, that's
was
what a lot
not
of
good
weird.
timing.
A lot of people did as soon as the things kind of opened up and you could get a hotel.
Oh,
Everybody was like, "Fuck it, I'm
yeah.
gonna get a $29 fucking for a whole entire weekend hotel, all up and down the whole fucking coast." And that's just how that shit went. But we had a really good time, and it was pretty
You
fun
should have
to
ridden with
be
me,
there.
not Johnny.
When you fucking rolled that, when he rolled that shit, it was like the most anti I'm like
He came up off this thing and got on the brakes. And went like this, and it was like, nee, 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 and you hit the brakes, and I was like, forward.
He
stayed like
did a
this.
forward roll
Oh,
after getting like less than 12 inches of air in a side by side. It was like, and then it rolled at the top.
That's like a stop.
And they ended up pointed straight at the fucking sky.
Yeah.
And Andrew Showers is in the passenger seat of it. And this guy that had seen it happen, is at the window or at the side of Andrew, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And Andrew's like, "I'm fine, I'm good. I'm just gonna get out now." And the guy's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I'm good, man, I'm good." "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm fucking fine. Leave me alone." He's like yelling at the guy as I'm walking up, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on right there? Why is Andrew yelling at this fucking?" Andrew's like, the guy asked me if I was okay 7 fucking times. I'm like, okay, I'll yell.
We almost died trying to get there.
Yeah, for no reason at all.
We were on 3 wheels, we were just gonna go like this, and then I'd seen Johnny's ass end come up, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Like he rolled.
So I turned in, we're rev limiter, driving,
no.
it's
No. Hold on. I'm like, they rolled, and I undo my seatbelt, and then he guns it and spins it around, and we're going uphill, on the face of a jump, and he's like, "Bah!" And it's 3-wheeled sands blast, and I'm like, and I and he's like, "Bah!" And then he realizes that it's oh, this is too much, and he lets off, and it's "Rrr," and he goes, "Rrr," and rides up to the spot, and we jump out. The guy's screaming at Andrew. Johnny's out of the thing looking at it. He's all pissed off and what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, fucking no air at all for that. He's like, fuck. So, sidebar.
Yeah, that's how we do it, man.
Can we do that again?
We can. Are we ready?
We
So,
were at the show for longer.
Yeah,
were we?
Wow.
It's a good show.
I want
We
to get a
spent
ride
the
in
night
side
there.
by side.
Yeah.
It sounds like fun.
This fucking side by side
You won't like it.
is so badass.
Sky high sand.
I was riding with Johnny at one point, and we're on this fucking trail that is narrower than the side by side, and he's flying, and we're like hitting boom, boom, and it's fucking. And I'm like, do you know where we're going? He's like, no. And I'm like, you're fucking good at this. And it's like, we're super hauling ass. And it's like, oh my God.
It's Coos Bay Sand Dunes. You're literally driving on the ocean, and there's like grass, like 4-foot grass, and there's like 2-foot deep whoops, and we're going 60, 70 miles an hour through berms and 4-foot grass, and hope and pray that you're not going to die.
Yeah.
Oh, and Johnny's doing this shit with his feet up.
Yeah.
And it sounds fucking good. Like Johnny's fucking buggy, SQ car. Fuck it. It's fucking bad.
Except for you can play it on Saturdays.
Yes, no, you can't play it on Saturday. So, but no, it was really cool. So.
I wonder what the judges would think if you entered that in SQ.
Oh, they'd be fucking taking shit. Oh, yeah.
They die.
Like, oh, yeah.
It's got a DC subwoofer in it.
Oh my God, they give me that all the time. With the, like, I was telling Jacob, I reviewed the ST310, and I named the title. It was the best SQ subwoofer no one ever talks about, because it's a good sounding subwoofer. There's no two ways around it. It sounds really good. People in the comments, boom, boom, boom. They don't even watch the video.
Right.
And my response, like, have you ever critically listened to the subwoofer? Because I know you haven't, because you're making this comment.
Right.
Because this,
I spent the time to do this. Don't read the title and have something to say about it.
right.
Buy your own. You want to talk shit? Prove me wrong.
Yeah. Buy your own. It's like I listen to a lot of subwoofers, so I'm not saying this is the best subwoofer ever. I'm saying that this subwoofer legitimately sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna get mad at me.
Yeah, this is your job.
Yeah. My job is to make sure he doesn't say fuck.
I only have
No.
And I'm the worst.
You're not doing a very good job.
We don't have a beat
No,
button,
okay.
so we're all
That's a
good.
full
There's this legendary video.
That's okay. I'll post it on my YouTube.
No, you fucking.
Dude, she will not let. I'm like, post that. It's a video that his wife made from Slamology
Yeah.
of every time he said fuck.
Oh my
Even
God.
the ones where like his ears are flapping from the bass. And, it's like, and then it goes to the next one. Fuck. Oh, motherfucker. Fuck. Shit. Fuck, that's loud. Fuck, I love this. Fuck, that's hot. All of it, dude. And it just goes, and it's like 7 minutes long.
This sounds like the
And
best video
It's
ever.
only half of the
Dude.
fucking shit.
And
I'm like
she-
sweating thinking about it, because when I'm watching it, it's hysterical, but it's embarrassing. I'm like, oh, I sound a little tarded. That's why the SQ guys hate me. And like,
I got the face palm.
Dude.
You already got the face palm. This, could we connect? We need to see this week, even if it's in
No,
private.
I
I
don't
need to see this
FaceTime
video.
I don't even have it on my phone because I'm afraid that when I'm drunk, I'll send it to someone. So she only has it on her phone, and I'm like, show them the video, baby.
Show
And then everybody's like, send me that. And she's like, I'm not allowed to.
She's trustworthy for sure. Bobby, not so much.
It's like
So
that.
I don't even
you can
trust
see
me.
this
I'm like-
once. You can see this one time. Just remember it.
You can watch it over and over again. You're looking at her fucking phone, not yours. Like, yeah. So anyway, it's pretty good. So,
Man.
Good deal. Man, it's good times. I mean, we can keep going, but we can.
Yeah, we don't
Stop
want to waste
that.
our time. Does everyone got something they want to?
Anybody want, I mean, you guys
Shout
want
out.
to
Say your
obviously,
first word?
I have said many things.
When? Not today.
Oh yes,
Byron.
I love that, man.
Thanks,
I
man.
love it.
Seriously, for
Yeah.
hanging out with
It's
us.
guy.
Really,
Byron's
It's
yeah,
been good
Byron
this
is.
weekend. You drove a long way. You picked these guys up at the airport.
We went to
I mean,
Waffle House twice.
Yeah,
went to
well,
Waffle House, kept
He's
these guys in line.
He's got a sick truck too. His truck is sick.
Yeah, well,
Like the whole thing, the audio, everything.
yeah, I'll post the video of that too. So, man, seriously, thank you, though. Appreciate it.
There's your first word.
I would like to say we had a conversation with John, long conversation with John last night and today, speaking about volume.
last night didn't count. We were
Well,
fucked.
No, it didn't count for you. It counted for us.
Had him sign it
And it
last
was
night.
Friday yesterday.
Not have Ed do it.
Right.
well, your advice was hilarious. Just the way
As it usually is.
just the way you presented
The
it.
delivery is always good.
Yeah. But from a manufacturer that we've been doing this for what, almost 4 years. Yeah, we just hit our fourth year. We've always done the small stuff. You know what I mean, like handmade, custom stuff. But it wasn't really scalable. That's why we stopped doing Omi, because it took 4 hours to make Omi.
Raise the price.
Well,
Awesome
yeah.
product.
Well,
Yeah.
raise the price and crank out production.
If you
A
don't want to do it,
redesign, that's more efficient.
make it
Yeah.
worth it.
All right.
Yeah.
Or figure out how to do it better, like Bobby's truck boxes.
Mhm.
You don't want to grind those with your hand. You know, you don't want to sit there and do it. So now he's doing it on the CNC, makes it a lot more profitable.
Yep.
Price didn't change. It saves him a little bit of time. We can keep more in stock. More customers are happy.
So that was really helpful, and hopefully, if all goes well, you guys will be a dealer.
He came up to me. Okay, this was like the first break of the weekend for me because I'm like in Sundown. I'm like a little uncomfortable, and I'm like the out of place guy. What am I doing here? Bobby dragged me here and said I could come. Nobody knows I'm here.
Bobby
And
gave
then
me
he's like,
permission.
I don't remember what you said. It was like the first thing, and you knew exactly who I was and exactly what we were talking about. And you're like, I was kind of scared to like entertain this conversation a couple years ago, but I think we're ready. And I'm like, it's worth it. The whole thing. The whole thing's worth it because you guys make an awesome product, and I don't like dick ride people a lot, but it's something that nobody else does.
For sure.
No, and you can look at my text. I even text my dad. I'm like, I'm fucking super excited about this because they like entertained my conversation, and whether it's in a big or small
See,
scale, it
he
doesn't
did
matter.
fucking ask his dad.
No,
I asked my dad, and he said, "Cool." So we're good.
No, actually, he called me and asked me how to use the gas pedal in his new truck.
You did indeed ask the guy.
Yeah, I'm like, Dad, you have to take your foot off the brake.
He's like, "Fuck." You know what that means, though?
Yeah.
How long
No.
he did it?
Well, no, it was scary.
Well, you know, if you guys are aware, John built his dad a
51 Chevy
51 Chevy. It's fucking beautiful. Like it was like one of the best
It's
vehicles, best
It's
show or whatever the
ridiculous.
fuck.
Yeah,
at
it won Classic
Slamology.
Builder's Choice and Best
Oh,
Debut.
Right, I mean, this thing is like fucking stunning. And so his dad just finally, they had it at Haagen-Dazs Nights and won awards for that. And all this thing is fucking beautiful. John worked his fucking ass off on it. And so if his dad is like, I don't have any throttle, it doesn't work because he's got his foot on the brake and the gas at the same time.
Well, it's got a Holley EFI system and it has an ignition system.
He was doing fuck burnout.
Yes.
That's what I'm
I didn't
talking
tell
about.
him there's a switch in the glove box to turn that off.
Ah.
It lets you, because it has a brake pressure sensor and it won't let you use the gas. And he's like, at the gas station.
Fucking tell him.
No. Because he's not even supposed to be
I'm
driving.
fucking calling right now.
It's a precautionary thing, right? So he doesn't drive.
He lives
I'm
on a
telling
15-mile
Allie.
mountain road.
I'm telling
So
Allie.
it's
Tell
like-
your dad.
And I was like, fuck, I need this thing out of the shop so we can get ready to go to
Call
surf.
John and tell him how to flip the switch in the glove box so he can do a fucking burnout.
It's not
Send us
it's
a
not a
video.
line lock, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just in the Holley. We have a Sniper X Holley, and so it's the EFI system that's in the truck. And if you, it won't let you push
Oh.
both. And so he had his foot on the brake, and he's like, "The throttle pedal's not working." I'm like, "Take your foot off the brake." Wah, 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 wah. Got it. I heard it over the phone. Yeah, but yeah, okay. I asked my
I
dad.
did talk to my dad.
I told him, I'm like, "Look, this happened. This is fucking cool." Because he's like, "Can I come down and hang out today?" And I'm like, "I'm in North Carolina. You want to come?" So
Oh, okay.
I guess I asked him, but I told him.
Looks like there's a lot of comments for Parker.
Yeah.
Asking how your Toyota is. Is it a Toyota?
Yep. It did really good. I gave out demos nonstop. Didn't drop below 12 volts. That's always a good thing.
You guys are good.
Not with this system. I had
Hey,
last year, but it had a different.
We got soda and fresh.
Literally no
Yep.
setup.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Our wife's
How is
like,
it to have a
3,000
new setup
miles away?
and
so
actually
there's no
like
dinner
being
going.
100 degrees playing it?
Good. It was fun. I mean, the AC in the car was nice.
Were you guys talking
There
about
you
the
go.
temperature of your voice grills? Oh my bad.
I won't talk about that.
My bad.
Hey, I had
It's
some
live.
people.
You
Those
can't
are
delete it.
probably
You can't delete it
still,
now.
I had
Live.
at least 3 or 4 people with them. I was like, yeah, the coils are way too hot.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
blow us up. And they're like, you know
That was
what?
every
Let's go.
Tuesday.
Just
That's
send it. Full send.
2022.
Yeah.
I'll still send it.
Yeah.
My motors are probably still hot to the touch right
Yeah, it takes some
now.
time,
Yeah, dude. The ZD6s, like
Video for
the
it.
last
especially
year,
the humidity.
yeah,
Makes
the
it
next
worse.
morning they're still warm.
Good.
Yeah,
It's a lot of mass to cool though, especially if it's static air.
Until that
Yeah,
one
for
goes.
sure.
Take some of them fans in there, magnet them to the wall, take them off in your demo. Because seriously, just a little bit of moving
Helps.
air in there, they would be cool like right now.
That's the whole point of power cooling in a motor of a Wolf Radic,
Exactly.
so it's not just doing
Yep.
this, not air doing that.
Yeah, but once you
Actually,
shut it down,
You might have to
Fuck.
reboot.
Oh, right.
you got
Yeah.
a 90-pound piece of metal.
You know what?
Yeah.
The concept of a turbo.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Something
you
to
have
keep
to,
the
like-
woofers
You'd have to. Oh.
after you turn it off. And there's
That was
Just like
different
a
route than I was
level
going.
20 hertz tone.
Yeah, but then if you're wired too low, you won't have enough rise, and then you end up with problems.
Right.
I've seen that.
I have a ton of times.
Did anybody have AC or anything running or amps?
Okay,
I do
one of my guys.
Well,
has
not
an AC.
directly though, because the condensation, but I have it in the back and the fanny socket from the top. It's all like
This is the one.
it's got a bunch of seat foam on it,
Mhm.
so it'll pull it from the front into the back.
My guy that flips the side by side that Bobby was talking about.
I
He
wanted
has
to,
a
but I
Spartan
don't.
that's C-pillar and all
I
the
don't
amps,
wanna
and we
pour it
routed
out,
all
though.
the rear AC.
Like-
We top all that shit out.
Someone else has to bring it up.
We routed all the rear AC and it's all right on top of the amps.
There's a
It's
guy,
not cool, bro.
the one judge that was right near us that had the Saturn View.
Yeah.
So he has a fan on his alternator, and he has little flex pipe going out to the bottom of the fender. So when he's demoing and for a long time, it can connect to his cooler. I'll fill his cooler with ice, and it will pull cold air from the cooler to go on his alternator. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's good.
Because weekends like this, it helps.
Yeah, malls are
Yeah.
screaming today.
Yeah, also not happy with the static 130-degree asphalt.
But the sun
Yeah.
went away after a while.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very comforting. It
After
didn't
rain.
rain, but the cloud cover.
I think it's
Yeah,
overheating.
it's fine.
Need some-
Sprinkles.
No, I don't know.
Phone overheating.
Can we
How's the feed?
can we put the mic into yours?
Oh,
It's what?
Mic into that.
Oh. Yeah.
Give us a second, people. We're trying to technical difficulty fix
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, we can go in here. And I'll unmute.
Are we not having audio?
Yeah.
You know, my wife said
Plug
something.
my headphones into that.
Fix that.
Sorry.
6 people watch this and fucking audio for an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, we just lost that.
This
nitrous
one
fogger.
needs to be rebooted.
I don't know.
Let's
talk about it.
My wife said no sound at 40 minutes ago. Sorry, everybody. She also said I said fuck too many times.
And then
She
she
said, you are so
14 times.
cute, and then you said no sound, babe, and then she said fuck, fuckity, fuck, dude, smiley face.
That's not a smiley face. That's a smile cry. Cry. Smile.
She's crying.
You have to choose the audio.
Crying?
Rob, I think you
She's
should
laughing
choose it.
sword. She's
Let me see
crying
what audio-
because I say fuck all the time.
Headset
That's it.
microphone. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, we good? Everyone can hear in the chat. Let us know. There's sound now.
If anybody is
Listen,
super
Bobby, your wife,
local-
she is on this, man.
So I'm gonna do a
I told her
Q&A.
to
Anyone
watch.
in there?
She loves me. She's fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Byron wanted us to talk about a new product that we were coming out with, which we don't like.
You got it now?
She approved. She's
Switch
really
to this
smart. Listen to whatever she says.
Let me go this. Sorry.
There we
There you
go.
go, Rich.
Is ours working?
Yeah, you're
Live,
good.
Okay.
live nationwide.
All right. So
Byron wanted us to mention
Byron
a
wanted
new
us
product
to
that we're
mention
coming
a
out
new
with,
product that we're coming
that
out
we just
with,
released
that we
at
just
this
released
show.
at this show.
It is a
It
fan
is a
speed
fan
controller.
speed controller.
We have Fanny.
Fanny.
You guys know
You guys know
Fanny.
Fanny.
This is
This is
speed.
speed.
My wife's gonna love that word. And
You know who else is gonna love it? With this.
this
I'm waiting for him to say it.
Yes.
This has a dash-mounted LED screen that will show you 0 to 100% of power to your fans. It can do
To your Fanny.
yes, it can
Oh,
handle
to
4
your
fannies
That's
or-
Bobby can.
or any 12-volt fan. So it'll work with the Atwoods. It'll work with any computer fan, DC fan, and it comes with an 18-foot flat RJ45 cable. So plug in the front, plug in the back, and it's all powered through that cable. So everything's pre-wired. And
Question, I think I know the answer to this, but what if you could turn banks, you know how it has the 4 outputs?
Mhm.
What if you could turn a bank off and on or whatever, depending on what you're playing? Like, so the reason why I think of this is the fan that we built has inside and outside amps.
Mhm.
I don't know. I was just thinking you could, or you can use the output for. I was trying to overthink you.
Oh, okay.
You're smart enough.
well, if you
I was
had
trying to turn on banks and shit, but it wouldn't really matter. Just run the fans.
well, yeah, that's what I would think. But you could also buy 2 Speedies and control them
That would be
individually.
good for you.
And have-
What are we doing?
Upselling already.
Right.
Even the guy that's
Look at this stupid. Ask another question. You can buy 3.
And then we're gonna probably have a 2 fanny, 1 speedy special called the fanny pack.
Okay, of course.
Trademark. Oh wait, no, that's
Uh,
the 90s trademark.
And then I mean it'll be available. We got a shipment of parts that will finalize this build for us. It'll allow us to come out with this product. It's arriving Wednesday. It's been on the water for 3 weeks, so finally arriving, and we've got probably enough to build 100 off the bat, and then we're going to have to probably build a lot faster after that, because I think once people see it, they may not want to buy a fanny, but they probably already have fans, and we'd like to control the speed. So
Yeah, because not all the time. And I was thinking about that when we talked about that last at the Access Power Show. You're not always going to want to hear all the time.
all the time.
It's
so
Yeah, but your guys' fans are really quiet.
Pretty quiet,
They
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And especially with the new redesign. So what we did was we found there were eddy currents and different angles of acrylic that were causing whistle and noise. So Mr. Ed over here redesigned the curves and how the acrylic is formed.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool.
And
I put acrylic in my oven, take it out, have a press mold comes down.
So now we're going to do it.
Bought
That way.
industrial
I
oven.
noticed
gonna
that the
get-
outsides look like horns. They're all like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So we're
looking
doing
at
the
that,
industrial oven, and that's our new technique.
How
But
big is your industrial?
oh yeah, it's small.
I mean, the parts are
Can't
like
cook
that.
food.
Yeah.
Those things
I
put
got fucking
way
ideas.
more air out than I thought they would.
Fanny?
Like that car I got a demo on today?
So
That was
when is the new product? You
That's
mentioned
way
it will coming soon, but when is the finished product going to be available for sale to the end user?
What's today? August.
I would say
September?
September.
September.
I would say September. Yeah.
You
We had
could
a
probably
question
thermoform
in chat.
acrylic on the motors of people's subs.
Oh.
Yeah, mine right now probably.
Still,
Yeah, still,
like
yeah.
6 hours ago, you go in there and just fucking like, oh,
Hank
gosh.
Beach actually cooked an egg on an amplifier.
John Nolte cooked an egg on the dash
Really?
of his Blazer. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was just sitting
He
in
liked
front of
it.
his house, and it was like 100 outside. He's like, it's 100 in sack. And he's like, oh, look at that. It's 141 degrees on the 1/4-inch steel dash of the thing. I'm going to cook an egg on it. And he's like, yeah. It took a little longer than we thought it would, though. But it did it. It wasn't sitting there sizzling. It was like, it's good. It's like, okay. Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Rich yesterday, and I said he's kind of like the off-road market. They could use the RBX.
Yeah.
They just don't know it because they're using just regular relays.
Yeah.
Like this product.
That's
and the-
exactly
and the
what I
switch.
thought of it, because when you do that,
Yeah.
we do literally. I was showing Byron earlier all the panels and stuff in my dad's truck, because it has a relay, a fuse for every single thing, and I'm like, that could have just.
This will look sick with
And
that.
then all the
Yeah.
off-road stuff, you're talking about lights, stereos, heated seats. There's 15 switches in my car, and I'm like, relays.
Right.
Shit.
Clean it up.
Yep.
And we can work together on like a specialized version, in the future to maybe 2022. There'll be a super industrial mega relay box version that would come out.
Every single side-by-side and off-road car has 10 plus relays if they're doing anything to it. People don't buy the cars to keep them stock.
Right.
Literally, they buy them and buy parts like before they drive them and they build
Yeah.
them.
Or they know the car they're gonna buy, so they can start buying some.
That's what I do, and I'm like, I already have parts.
Yeah.
Well, it's exposure to the markets. So we've gotten lucky a couple times where, a Jeep fan would, get it and install it in their car, and then someone else sees it, and then the whole Jeep community knows about it, right?
Yeah.
It's difficult getting, like, we're really good at car audio. We're plugged into the market. We know everybody, and we know what people are looking for. So marketing to them is easy for us. But getting into the marine market, getting into the 4x4 market, getting into off-road racing, all that stuff, like if you don't have those contacts or you don't know the language that they speak, or you're not in those groups or around those people, getting that exposure can be tough. But if you've got distributors, that are.
And Sky High's, I associate you guys with UTVs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You got a monster truck,
Yeah.
you got a race car, you got a side by side.
I think of wire.
So that exposure will go a long way.
Yeah. No, we sell a ton to the off-road market. A lot.
Great.
So
You can have so many different switching systems for so many
Anybody-
different applications.
What part
I'm
do
getting ready
you
to
think- what
build
percentage do you think is
a conversion van. I ordered a Sprinter
Ah,
I
there you
bet
go.
5 or
Spider-Man.
10% of our sales are hydro,
Oh,
fogs,
water battery.
SSV fogs.
There's one of them.
Yeah.
Solar power.
It's how I
Well, fuck them. No, but yeah, there's so much that we can do with so many different versions of switching systems that you guys already have.
It's just a reconfiguration. Yeah, just
this is ideal for this application, and this is ideal for that application.
Yep.
And maybe some manufacturer that makes things reaches out to you and says, hey, this would be ideal, and this many at this size, and this many at that size, and this control unit for all of that, or even like an app that controls it.
Oh yeah.
That's actually an old idea that we might resurface.
Well, that's fancy.
We also got
That's the screen. And the,
El Fuego at DVN for Life says something about a big fanny that blows air makes me nervous.
That's funny.
That's pretty good.
True.
The comment makes me nervous.
What they asked, what belt are you in jiu-jitsu, Bobby? Purple belt.
makes sense.
So don't mess with him. That's what he's saying.
That's right.
I'm 5'5", like 170. I'm old as fuck. So
Good luck. You got some spark to you though.
Yeah.
spark.
Branded
did there.
Yeah.
Do you open the floor to questions or just people?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
How about like we were starting? What was everybody's favorite
Yeah.
build of the day, or even demo, or just experience of the day, whether it was an actual
Did
demo or
we go
anything
around the
else?
whole table?
Yeah.
We didn't even. We got like
We'll
one
start.
guy down with that.
We'll start.
There you go.
Mr. B.
Standing about 15 feet from Duncan's van.
Was that the all black out one?
No, Steve Duncan.
Steve Duncan on the
Oh,
side.
okay, yeah.
Duncan D's.
Uh-huh.
And it was absolutely ridiculous. It was ridiculous. You can feel it all in your chest. You can step further back, you still feel it.
I was in the door of that while he was 15 feet away.
Me and him were standing 15 feet away, like, fuck that.
It's a
Like, yeah,
you want to get in?
My ears are. I have pretty serious cauliflower ear. My ears don't flap around for anything, but my ears and my whole entire face.
the whole face, yeah.
Yeah.
Were just go in that thing, and it like pulled the hat off of my head and was like
Yeah.
beating the shit out of me with it. And I'm like, oh, never mind. And then it was like floating behind me, I think. And then, yeah, it was really good. You go on my Instagram, there's like a little clip of it that is pretty awesome.
That was a
Definitely.
video. This kid behind me was in the hot seat, and I don't think he could see him because I was in the way. 'Cause I'm a pretty big dude. And this kid behind me, the camera pans over, and every time it hits, he's like, like seizing out. I'm like, are you okay? He's in another car, and I was
I'm
walking around.
okay.
I was like, hey man, are you all right? And he's like, yeah.
Is he having a flashback to another show?
Bro, he was on a different planet.
Just trying to tough it out.
You ever seen a video of that cat and there's like there's a noise going on with the cat
Yeah.
flickers every time?
That's what it was like.
Yeah.
Parker.
I can't say what my favorite was. I got to sit in Sundown's paint burp car,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Bro, Derek had
I didn't get
He gave me a
Podcast
good
deal.
couple second burp, but it was pretty cool. I hadn't said something that loud. That was neat. But then really my favorite was just getting to meet a bunch of people and hear like a bunch of just random, demos, and you really get to see like some of the small people just like they put so much time and effort, and there's just so much joy in what they've done, and they really love it. They get to show it to somebody you can, especially if you're a YouTuber and you're making videos of it and stuff. So
Yeah, that was cool.
It was
I got
really
a demo in a Subaru Baja.
really, yeah.
And he wanted me to sign this up. I was like, dude, if I sign this up, it's gonna be worth way less.
Yeah.
Then when before I put my name on it, he's like, yeah, do it. Okay, man.
And if
Oh,
you're long when you're famous,
Yeah.
like rich and famous.
Yeah, porn famous.
For me, I didn't get a whole lot of demos. Didn't go see a lot of cars. That's more Ed's thing.
But you were also man in the booth, and unfortunately, someone had health issues. You were
Yeah, so he enjoys that too. I'd say for me, since I like people, I'm like a more of a relationships type of thing. Seeing Jacob's success, seeing the enormous facility.
Jacob Fuller.
That's ridiculous.
And just to see what can be done as a manufacturer in the car audio industry. I mean, like we're not making subs, but like to see like where we're headed in terms of our goals, to see that it's possible, And for him to just be a super nice guy with a big heart that like, you know, just talks to you like
open and welcome.
Right. You know, it's like seeing good things happen to good people is awesome, especially when it's in the same industry that we're in, and he's basically where we want to be, and so that was great. That was awesome. Hanging out at the facility and just eating really good food and drinking and talking was awesome.
Yep.
Meeting these two cats, talking for a while, that was a highlight. And again, I mean, it's these introductions that end up being big things. You know what I mean?
The thing is, even if you didn't sell a bunch of stuff, you can never put a price tag on the networking,
Absolutely.
the people that you met,
Yep.
because you never, like, we didn't plan to talk.
Right.
At all. And it could turn into something. It might turn into nothing. I'm guessing that's not going to be a thing, but
Right.
it could turn into something, and I'm guessing it will. And that is intangible. Like, you can't be like, oh, that's worth.
Yep.
The trip's worth it, or
Absolutely.
whatever.
It's not a sale like that week or something,
Yeah.
but you might 5 years down the line have a partnership in something that you never even thought of at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that came from that hanging out that time.
Yeah, that's exactly why we come down here, because you know we're just like we're enthusiasts. We're not in the actual market of cardio.
We go now. You got
Well,
your
well
high five
now,
mega
but I'm still new, you know. So it's coming here, network. See, every person in here. The only people I've ever met in person is Derek and Mike.
Yeah.
Everyone else was the first time. I know you guys all online, except for Bobby and John. But it's cool to just get a chance to meet everybody in person and people I've been talking to. You've been on the show how many times?
Yeah, multiple times. And
And
we
then-
worked together and haven't met.
And and I've already suckered Rich into it, and then I suckered these guys into this one tonight. And hopefully,
You're
hopefully-
lining up. You got
Yeah.
your card.
I really want to get both of these guys on separate and just talk about their story from the beginning to the end, because people
John's
don't
my
pay attention to
security
the
blanket.
history. Well,
You have to schedule it when Bobby's at the shop.
okay, there we go.
Security blanket or handler?
Right.
Or enabler.
Either one.
I mean, I like to enable. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at that.
Enabler, yeah.
I mean, it's one thing, like Rob was kind of alluding to you know, chat back and forth online. Like I've chatted with Bobby, and I've never met John before, but I follow him and see all the great things you guys are doing. But you know, being able to meet you in person and getting the stories and just joking
Yeah.
around. I mean, for us, I mean, we're not a business. We're trying to sell you anything, but just meeting you, I mean, you guys are great people, and you know, we'll promote your products even more now because we've met you. We see how enthusiastic you are about cardio and what you're doing for the community, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I mean, these two guys, like, dude, I want to hang out with these guys. Like, I want to hang out outside
of work?
Yeah, outside of work. Like, I want to hang out and see what we can get into.
You're gonna regret it.
Yeah. But it's gonna be fun at the time, though.
Maybe. We've almost. I mean, we did
Died.
crash a couple times, but
Yeah, that was head-on collision in the middle of the night in the darkness.
There's way more than what is being hinted at.
oh god, you guys ever seen a funny video?
What do you got?
The Ford fucking Ranger video that Andrew made that I made him delete.
Oh, I've seen a couple of those videos.
And that also
never
goes
seen
for
it?
you guys as well. Again, Ed's always been the superstar, competing since he was young, met everybody, grew up with everybody. So he's always been the contact. He's always been the guy in the industry. And it's only been the last year and a half that I've really been here full time doing Sparked. And getting invited to something like this, you think, you know, you suckered us in. It's like, I'm excited. I feel privileged to be here. It's like I'm getting accepted now into the community the way he is. You know what I mean? Like people just used to know his name. And whenever they would write in, they would always say, "Hey Ed," you know. It was always like he was the only guy.
I'm rich. I got a name.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like Ant-Man meeting Captain America. Like I said, it's like
Oh, you're great too. Yeah.
You're only great by association.
Yeah.
Right.
I know exactly how that feels.
Yeah.
For the record.
So it's never really bothered me that much, but it is definitely cool to be associated with the brand, with Ed, and the products that we're creating. It's really cool. And you guys have had, you know, you've had the live video with him and everything like that. And you did when you know had Omi and you did that whole demonstration and stuff like that. I was always thinking, I was like, man, I kind of, I'm not jealous, but like I kind of had a little bit of a little FOMO on that. You know what I mean? It's like I would kind of wish I was there or whatever. So I'm really glad I got to meet you both finally in person.
Absolutely.
And be part of something like this.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Cool.
I feel the same way like when Derek's on kicker by himself or I'm on kicker by myself. It's like, I kind of wish I was there with him.
Yeah, exactly.
How'd you guys get involved with it? You don't have to talk about it. If you don't
With
want to
kicker?
show it. Yeah.
They're a bunch of good guys. Really.
Yeah, so this is great because being at the table with all you guys, and obviously kicker comes up a lot in stories with car audio, and a lot of people think Walmart. And I think the thing to understand about these guys is kicker's been owned by the same guy since 1973. They're a fantastic company. Rob and I have been there and met them. The owner of the company took us out to lunch and just took like 3 hours of his day and just chilled with us. But they're so enthusiastic about what they do. It's like I went in like as a fan of their company and I left like I was a fanatic. It was crazy because I felt like I was accepted in to this company. And they've been in the industry for so long, they've had to modify. Sure, they've had to sell stuff at Walmart. They've had to create all different lines of products. They work with OEMs. They do so many things. You can't even think about how many things. They do headphones. They do Bluetooth speakers. They have so much diversity. But guess what? When one thing goes down, the other keeps it up. And so they're just a really smart company overall. And they have a lot of enthusiasts that work there. And for me, it's like going to a candy store. You know, being there, it's like, man, this is really great. But the whole industry, you know, a lot of people laugh when they hear the name kicker. You know, kicker, kicker. You know, they make little square subwoofers. But you know, they appeal
under 30 years old.
They appeal
which
to
means you're a moron.
Right. They appeal to a certain market because that's what they sell, right? So that's what they do. But anyway, we got in with them because they wanted to start streaming, and they asked us how we did it and things like that. So we explained to them how we did it, and from there, it's just been a great partnership. They've invited us to go up there in October to have our fall meet. Looking forward to that, having our old school stereo fall meet up there. So real excited about it. Kicker's a great company. We haven't met anybody at Kicker that we don't like.
No,
we want to be
I think
employees
Scott will be
someday.
there, too.
That's great.
I think me and Scott will be there.
Yeah, Scott said for sure. Yeah, you should come. It'll be fun. It's
Build
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you guys know if Kicker still does like the Big Air Bash stuff at SEMA?
Yes.
They do,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Maybe.
We're going.
Yeah, we'll be at SEMA.
We're
this
going.
year.
Oh, no
So
way.
you guys
You
know
guys
it?
are going. We'll see you there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm very good at
Oh, really?
everything that's going on.
I'm gonna come see
I completely lost track of
You
the
can be outside.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
Favorite vehicle.
Let's get back to that. We'll make maybe favorite moment of the whole thing even.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know?
Cindy's back here.
I think we did that already with him, didn't
The
we?
guy started it.
Yeah, he's the one that started.
Casey,
Okay.
you're up. What's your favorite moment of the show?
Favorite
I don't
vehicle,
know, man.
favorite moment.
Giving y'all demos is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was.
Also, having a build that
that was
didn't
fun.
blow up the whole day was
Oh,
cool
that's
too.
pretty epic.
But,
I was
I would-
setting fire to mine by the end of every.
I know, right? Usually like my stuff's pretty reliable. I try to do like the most I can with the least equipment, so I have less failure points. And so far, it's been good for me. But probably my favorite thing is getting my face peeled off in Duncan's van. I mean, usually the big builds aren't my favorite, but that thing's just ridiculous. It's uncalled for.
Yeah,
It's-
no,
It's disrespectful.
It's literally
It makes me
disrespectful.
really angry.
That kid was in a different dimension behind me, dude. I have to send the video to y'all and maybe post it later. But I'm telling you, every
you're like dragging him out. We get him out of
Freaking
here.
out, dude. Yeah, if he tapped out,
You
no
know
one
he's
saw it.
dead in here.
Yeah, no one saw him tap out.
How about the aesthetic appeal of some of like Duncan's van and like how people have stepped up games, and you see a lot of vehicles that are, in my opinion, they're looking better. And like our
Which is
industry,
great
like,
for the
raising
people that
the
are
bar.
looking at it too and getting demos, because you don't want to get into some bullshit, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
if from the outside looking in, you're like, fuck that.
Just
Yeah.
spent a lot
Regardless.
of time and money
Just
making mine look
flat,
exactly
Like
how I
with
want
your
it.
car stuff.
Yeah. I've seen a lot
Dude.
of clean installs.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
It used to be like, oh, we just want to be loud. You know, it's all about competition. It doesn't need to look good, and I'm going to switch this out anyway. But now people are spending more time,
Yeah.
you know, polishing it up, making it look presentable.
I've got leather and suede.
yeah, using materials
Yeah,
and like
leather wrap board and
not
stuff.
just paint everything with a spray can, but actually like doing
Right.
layers.
I love the waterfall of wire. I love wire. That's
Yeah.
my thing.
Yeah.
And I love the waterfall of it.
Did you ever see the wire porn? Hashtag.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
it's
awesome,
great.
yeah.
It's
something I
one.
need to follow.
It's
I'm
one.
always
Make sure you put the wire before the last.
Yes.
right.
Well, I already follow.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Oh, I must be thinking of something.
Some weird shit comes up.
So they tie you up or what?
Hashtag weird shit.
A few minutes, not high wire.
Like, damn, I might just follow hashtag weird shit. Sounded like fun. I'm gonna start using it. Hashtag weird shit.
It's good for my OCD to look at stuff like that. It's like everything's nice and neat and clean and
It's so hard to do. It's hard to do,
Oh,
but
man.
nice to look
Were
at.
there any kicker woofers at the show?
Yes.
There was
Did you
3.
see-
Oh,
in that.
dude, there was a blue
Yes.
F-150
Yep.
with
We
3.
were talking to that guy for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, he's a super cool guy. He had an underseat box.
Was it the lowered one with the nice wheels?
Yeah, with really nice
Oh, that
wheels
was
on it.
nice.
And you know, and I have an F-150. It's a similar truck to his actually. Mine's gray and it's stupid. But you know, and I'm walking up and I'm hearing something pounding and I'm like, is that truck? I'm like, what's he got in there? And I was walking up hoping I was gonna peek and it was gonna be one of my boxes with my subs, but it wasn't. It was kicker subs, and it was pretty awesome. And we all got demos and all of us got in and out of it, and we talked about it a bit. And his, you know, he was telling me about his box builder buddy that was a good friend of his, and he was super excited about his friend, and they were familiar with my work, and you know, they were. You know, they had designed the box for different subs, but they couldn't get any more of those because they blew up right away. I'm not going to say the company's name. Rhymed with Memphis. So they swapped it out. They got the jigsaw out, got those kickers in, and it was way, like, they were super. It was like, it's really good. And I was like, I think it's better than you even think. It's really, really good. It was like shitload out, but
I was expecting to see a box like on top of the seat or like 212s. And I looked over there, I'm like,
fuck, that's good. And it was just a Terra Smart 3K. It wasn't like he was running a truckload of power. It was
And it had
really
air
impressive
conditioning.
amount of output. Yes, it was nice and cool.
Did it?
Definitely, there was
That always
a few
makes
extra
it sound
minutes of
better.
demo time in that thing. It was
Oh,
like,
that's how Casey got me. You got the air on. Like
yeah,
that.
that
Yeah.
Ford,
In the 20
that
hertz
Ford
buzzer,
AC was
Fuck yeah,
kicking.
dude.
You're like, oh, this is awesome. It
Yeah.
dries the air out real good. So, but dude was super cool. His truck was awesome, and it was loud as shit. And that was pretty cool. That was the kickers that I saw. So
these
That's cool.
motherfuckers.
that's the
They
picture.
loaded it on the trailer, fucking squatted.
Ah.
This is a picture of my truck that I was telling you guys about. And one of my employees went to go to Prescott to pick it up because I build cars and I don't have time to build my fucking own. So I'm like, can you build this for me? And they're like, yeah, it'll be done in a month. 4 months later, it's today.
We've heard this.
That's funny.
See?
Sick, pretty sick.
See?
Oh, did you
Right.
see that thing?
That's the
Hey, you know what would be cool?
Dude, that's
If I did have a speaker box
It'll
for
be
it.
way cool.
Yeah, the new Solo X is coming out, right?
So what was your favorite? What was
This
your
is my
favorite build?
current favorite part of the day. Like, fuck you guys.
Just hanging
I
out.
like need this truck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because I just texted him, everything good? Because he was supposed to pick it up like 5 hours ago and he has not sent me anything.
Oh,
So I'm like, I love you guys and all, but I'm like,
Yeah.
so, like, he's like, yeah, that's fine.
funny.
Someone asked about the RBX 4CH. It does not have wireless capability. That's what they're asking.
Oh, yeah.
Explain what that is for all these people that don't know.
Wireless? No,
No,
RBX.
The resting bitch face,
The RCH.
or whatever you say.
The RBX 4CH is a 4-channel relay box that can be controlled either by positive input triggers or pre-wired switches. Yes, Byron does. And
am I installing that?
We're even on board
Yes, you installed
switches.
another one.
Okay.
Another one. Okay, DJ Cal.
if you get our 18-foot extension cables with it that are all pre-wired, it's then plug and play. So it's the
It's wired to have the switch, like the
illuminate when pressed. So everything's done. You don't have to worry about wiring it. So literally all of the headaches of wiring up relays is
Let
done
me say, I looked at this earlier, and I'm like, this is 4 hours saved. So the price of that thing is worth your money. Like, you're going to save money by having Bobby install that versus doing it himself.
Yep.
Or
That's
he'll
true.
still charge it the same.
Colt's like, oh,
You have a really
Yeah.
box in yours?
Well, I text
I've
Johnny.
borrowed all
I'm
my
like, hey, dude,
things.
check these products out. We're gonna be picking them up, and Johnny's like,
I haven't used my gift card.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Says I
bet.
love that.
Speak
Yeah.
of
Yeah, you're in Johnny's good graces.
Yeah.
My,
Oh, yeah.
my main guy, the guy that a couple months ago, I'm like, I'm taking a step back.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Fucker. See you later.
Oh,
Not really, but
Kind of.
I'm building a house and a warehouse at the same time on separate properties, and dealing with the city and all the stuff that's going on. It's fucking
that's a
amazing.
lot.
Come on, be
It's
more
better
bold
than-
and build a house in the warehouse.
Okay, so my house has an
No,
attached
he's
5,000
moving
square
to a
foot
trailer
shop.
park.
Yes,
yeah, that's
I
right.
am moving into a trailer park.
There you go.
So
Sacrifices have to be made.
yes,
He's gonna
and
park the GTR in the driveway.
Yes,
and
we're gonna
the
get you
trailer
a-
park
yeah.
next to his
Yeah.
next to his 2021 mega
have
cab.
my brand new fucking $150,000 house. Yep. Dead ass. The trailer that we're living in is getting delivered tomorrow, but I did it. It was my wife's idea, so I can't get it.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. When I was in Cali once, we drove past that $1 million trailer park.
Okay, that's not where we're gonna live.
Yeah.
The
That's
trailer's
that's
pretty
not what's
baller,
gonna
but
happen.
the suspension on that truck costs more than the trailer.
Oof.
But it's a really good time to sell. So,
Yeah.
and we sold full asking price first day on the market. So I'm like,
Yeah.
give me that money.
That's
Waiting for my wife to start sending me messages that we're not living next door to John in a fucking trailer park.
He's trying to get his wife to move, and then we'll be like best friends forever. And
We built bunk beds.
Yeah, it's the exact scene I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Did we just go this way?
favorite non-pornographic magazine to jack off to. It's good housekeeping.
Oh,
I'm all, oh, stop. Oh, Sears catalog. I was 12. Fuck you.
John Stamos.
Yeah. So,
AC pennies.
yeah, you are going to be in trouble. She probably doesn't know I'm going to be living in a trailer.
Yeah. And she doesn't know we're going to be
A
living
little
in a trailer.
trailer too.
Yeah,
Next door.
he's already ordered it.
We're all moving in. Or I'm moving in with you.
It has a loft.
That's
where the
I'll put
baby's
a
room's
tent
gonna
on
be.
the roof.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice and
She's
cool.
already on to
I'll
you.
park my fucking Sprinter.
She's on to you right now. Don't get any ideas.
We're there. We're gonna live in the Sprinter van in front of John's.
It's not a trailer, right?
Trailer, yeah. The Sprinter van that's worth more than the trailer in
Times
front of
three.
the trailer.
Yeah.
Van down by the river.
In my
Yeah.
van, down by the river. Yes.
Do you have a favorite moment? What was your favorite moment?
So I had a customer that ordered a box from us. This I believe they were husband and wife, and they had a 412 custom box I built in the trunk of her car, and she spotted me and was like, "Thank you so much. You built my box, and it's awesome, and we love it." And I was like, "Is it here?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Let's go here." And she's like, "Oh, it's way over on the other side of the whole event." And I was like, "Let's go." And we went marching over there, and I got a killer demo, and it was loud, and it sounded awesome, and it was a beautiful install. I posted a picture of it on my Instagram, and people think the box is too small because it's real small. What's that?
On my Instagram at.
Bobby gave me. You can define I look like this. This is my wife. I'm
You
not saying.
see enclosures in there.
Yeah, it's a bunch of speaker boxes and shiny lights and shit. That's me. That was my favorite moment. Like a customer that was like extremely happy with the service that we provide, and here we are, 3,000 miles away from where we're at, and I'm like, oh look, it's Gately Build right here at the Sundown Show in North Carolina, and they love us, and they're happy with the build. So that was my favorite thing of the whole show, and then obviously Steve Duncan's truck. Like my face still feels like it's like a
We
face
should
massage.
have got in there.
Whole body. That's
That's
a lot of fun.
Stand next
That's
to
a
it.
lot of
Yeah.
good
Stand like five.
In it, I was in the door.
The rest of the wind was closed, but you can tell, so I think
No.
the van's got more.
All right.
I think so too.
I'll do my favorite moment
That and it
outside
doesn't
of this
operate.
right here.
Yeah.
The-
Good call.
Yeah. Mic check. 1, 2, 3.
That's the thing when a demo is
Let's see. We get some.
How we doing, babe? Is it working? Talk to me.
Back. Hey, she's on point.
She's
Right,
fucking
putting
here.
the fucking calves.
Yeah.
But my favorite moment outside of what's happening right now was last night. These two guys had me crying with a Waffle House story, and you have to see. I mean,
Don't say what we said.
we're not going to talk about all of it, but
Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Bobby has to act it out to get the full effect. But my stomach hurt, my eyes were watering. It was the
You want
best.
to hear a more appropriate story?
Yeah.
About
that's
when
it.
Bobby spilled a fucking bottle of brandy down my head and hit me in the head with a gun.
With a bottle gun. And then John put me on his counter, and my friend Cole pulled my pants down, and I had all my stuff hanging out.
That's how the baby came from.
Yeah. No, okay. We have our show, Sky High Barbecue, and we have like a VIP party at my house. So
This
if
is
any
a
of you
more
guys,
appropriate story than the
way more
Waffle House
appropriate.
story.
So if any of you guys ever come, we do, well, okay. We're gonna have a VIP party at my trailer.
It sounds like I'm from Arkansas. This is my kind of party.
My wife did the face palm. That means we're doing good, I guess.
We'll have to ixnay the VIP party until the new house is done. Then we're gonna do a real VIP party.
No, we got to do it at the trailer park.
So, anyways,
You're a real man.
we have this little VIP party where like all of our manufacturers and all of our bigger customers and distributors come to my house, and my wife normally cooks, but this time I told her fuck off, and I got it catered, and she was happy. No, she had
wanted to cook for
75
everybody.
people. I mean, you're fucking cooking for 75 people. You goddamn lost your mind. But it reminded me of Jacob's wife when she was cooking. I'm like, she's gonna be mad if she finds out that he let her. Not gonna be good. But yeah, so
My wife's telling.
Yeah.
snitch. So the last barbecue, pre-COVID,
Yeah.
Bobby was standing on the top of the counter.
Is he standing on the counter?
No,
Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna
right.
tell the baby bird story now.
Show Derek, look.
Oh, we got to flash back a little bit here. This is after I bumped him on the head.
Show it to the camera,
Yeah. We got it.
and then show him the one where you're pouring the beer.
This is right after I bumped him in the head. I don't really remember this.
I tend to not doubt that.
Yeah, so we have this bottle of something. I don't know what it was. And he's on his shoulder. He's on my shoulders, and it like smashes me in the fucking head, and then it spills on top of my head, down my face, and it's like running down the front of me like brandy. And I'm like, okay, you're cut off. And, like my counter's like this high or whatever, and I grab his legs and I'm like, here, dude. So he should have
This was his idea.
Okay, that's because the pre-barbecue VIP party last time we did it, Bobby was standing on the counter and Berto had made carne asada for everyone. And it was a bit later in the night than this. And I don't remember how it came up. Somebody, probably my idea.
Yeah.
Was it?
No.
Confirmed. Your idea?
No.
Joel's idea?
You fed me a piece of steak. And it was one of the last pieces, and you were like, now I wish I had that. And I was like, I'll hop up on the counter and baby bird it down into your mouth. And you were like, do it. And I was on the counter like a quarter of a second later, and you were like, I can't do it. I'll give somebody $100. And Joel was like, and I'm and like, and right into his mouth, and he got it and started chewing it.
No.
You said there was no limit to this one.
Yeah.
I told you.
And then, let me remind you, all this happens at our VIP party that has like manufacturers, owners, distributors, like big dealers, and we're like, you don't like it? Don't fucking buy it.
JP and Rusty were like, and we gotta go. Just right then and there. They did leave together. But and then it was like some kind of double or nothing thing that you thought up, I guess.
Yeah, 200 for one.
And then Joel still
There's a whole
chewing
video of it too.
the steak,
somewhere.
got back on the counter.
never wanna
Oh
see
yes,
that.
and then
Still chewing the same piece of steak.
Oh,
got on the counter.
no.
And then I attempted to catch it, and he hit my shoulder because he was a bad.
Your
egg.
eye to mouth is terrible.
I was.
Can we pay you not?
I don't really
keep
have
telling the story.
Yeah, you can. Ain't cheap though. You got 100, double or nothing, 400. Yeah. So then, whatever.
Viewership just went away. Now you can kill it.
We're listening people now.
Sorry, drop it out. No, that's awesome.
Yeah. As a side note, I do want to mention JP drinking like 3 gallons of sweet tea at dinner. That was pretty
Yes,
awesome.
he can throw down.
This
some
dude
sweet tea.
can drink some sweet
On
tea.
a dare or just
No, he just. I mean, I think what happens. They'll fill it up with ice and
Right.
pour the tea in or
Yeah.
drink, and it's like 2 sips and it's gone.
right.
But he had them come back 50 times. He finally said, "Can you just leave the picture?"
Can I just get the And I tried to pour. He's like, "Can I pour? I just want tea. I don't want the ice."
You know what? He said something about. I didn't get the reference at the time, but Jacob was talking about how his belly was hurting a little bit because he hasn't had serious sugar or carbs in a really long time because of the diet that he's on, and that made him feel uncomfortable. JP jumps in and says, "Man, same thing happened to me. Sweet tea." And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, "Are you sure?" Because I'm thinking like a little cup of sweet tea. Like,
He drank pictures of
48
now it makes sense.
Yeah.
John does that with whiskey and.
No, that's fact.
It's true,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
I think we said that last night. Like, well, maybe he's off drunk. No.
Oh yeah, I was all.
No, hell
They're
no.
like,
Like, maybe
no.
he's throwing up. And Jay was like, "No, he's not." I said, "He don't drink." I was like, "Yeah,
My
he drinks."
best behavior was yesterday. I was a fucking adult for the first time in my life.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm doing really good. I'm like about as sober as a beer right now. I wish I had more beer. About early when we first started, I was like, man, we should find if somebody's local can bring us some beers or something.
There you go. You
And
got
I
to
didn't.
do
It's
the
too late
Uber
now.
Eats or something like that. Yeah.
Bring this beer. I fucked up a long time. But yeah, I had a fun drinking moment with John at the Slam a couple of years ago on the Friday afternoon on like
This is where the fuck video from earlier came from.
this is what it started.
Yeah,
So
literally.
So we get a bunch of moonshine, and John walks up to me and we're talking, and he hands me, he's like, "Try this," and I take like a big drink, and I'm like, "God, that's delicious," and I hand it back to him, and he takes a giant John gulp. John's a full foot taller than me,
Oh,
and he weighs at twice what I weigh.
Right.
Right. So we're handing this jar of moonshine back and forth, and in 5 minutes it's gone, and I drank like a third of it. And then John's like, "All right, we're leaving everybody," and he like gets in a vehicle, and then all the Sky people are gone, and I'm alone.
We had to go to fucking.
I'm alone, drunk at Slamology, and I'm like, my friends are somewhere around here. I'm
Isn't
like,
somebody
oh my
supposed to watch
God,
my handler.
Yeah.
Who's watching the Bobby?
And Dan Current comes pulling up, slamming 421s. And he's like, "Golly, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, dude." and actually, if you go on my YouTube, there's a video of the demo with
What's
Dan
your
Current,
YouTube name?
Bobby Gate. Oh no, it's Gately Audio now, I think.
I'm a subscriber.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you go the Dan Current video, that's all fog. I was hammered. I was like a little worried about how intoxicated I am. And then there's even a funny moment, and you have to hear it in just the right audio system. Like you probably got to hear you got to listen to the audio in an SQ system to hear this on Saturdays. There's no bass going around, and you can hear my friend Mark yelling at me while I'm getting the stunt wall demo, and he's like, "I'm fucking hungry, and I'm trying to get something to eat, and you're standing here getting fucking filming a video." He's hella mad, and I'm like just smiling, and I'm like ignoring him. I'm like, "This is gonna be hella funny." And then when you look at the video, like if you look at it right now on or on your phone, you won't hear it. You gotta hear it really good audio, and you can just barely hear him bitching while it's doing the stunt wall
That
demo.
makes it funnier.
It's hysterical. I'm like, man, it was so funny. It was like, okay, you need a Snickers or something, bud. He was like, oh shit. He was all mad. It was really funny.
So he's drawn when he's hungry.
Yeah, he
They
was
should
hungry,
hang out.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe fighting. So, but yeah.
Derek, you got a moment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna kind of take on what Ed said, also, and some of what Bobby and John said. I thought last night was really cool going to Sundown. I didn't know what to expect.
There's been some things in the past with Sundown. You know, I tested some of their amps a few years ago, and they had, I guess, some rating issues that they weren't aware of. So we had a little bit of conflict with that. But I mean, I met Jacob. We talked for a little bit, and just like you mentioned, really cool guy. He seems like he really cares about his employees, and I felt welcome there. So I had a great time with that. Also with JP last night with the dinner. That was a good time. Although they didn't have a reservation, we somehow snuck in and got our own private room. But then hanging out, you know, with these guys as well. Everybody here at the table. I mean, you guys are just lots of fun, and it was a great weekend. I feel like a little bit of a fish out of water because I'm not really a big SPL guy, but I felt like just meeting everybody and spending time with them. It was just fun. Like I said, going to the theme park, and we talked about it before. That's kind of how it felt like for this weekend. So it was just great.
Can you tell the Kobe beef story with the seating arrangement?
Oh, should I tell that?
I think you should. You don't have to tell the whole thing. Just tell the. You want me to tell it?
Yeah, you tell it.
All right. So we're all sitting. You know, at the Kobe beef place, they want you to have all the seats full. We didn't have all the seats full, but we're in a room.
Oh, when they grill in front of you and everything.
Yeah. They grilled.
Japanese.
They had 2 of them. So they brought a guy in with his son. I'm sure they were out for just a nice night, you know, father, dad type of thing.
So you're probably hungry.
And it's like, we're like, can you guys not sit them somewhere else? This is kind of like a private thing. And Drew asked me, he's like, do you like bass? Drew Jones, bassaholic. He's like, do you guys like bass? This dude, like, he is so pissed. That's all Drew said to him. And then he is pissed. Like, he is mad. So
The father?
Yeah, the dad. He is. He was like,
I think it took a long time for them to be seated.
Yeah.
So he was just they were waiting for somewhere to be seated so they could eat. And they got into the room with all the misfits. And then they didn't feel welcome with the misfits. Well, then JP takes off.
He gets it handled.
And he comes back and they come in.
Yeah.
You people need to leave. So
And it's like,
they walk out because JP, I guess he told them that, hey, we need this whole room. Even though we didn't reserve it. Derek went in and got the reservation like 5 minutes before we're supposed to be there. But yeah.
He made it happen, and it saved them more than it saved us.
Right.
You know, because they clearly were not in the mood to be listening to us talk about bass nonsense. They were trying to have a good time, and it's
Good name
like
for a YouTube channel.
bass nonsense. There you go.
Somebody's gonna steal it now.
Mike,
I'm making an Instagram right now.
you want to tell your favorite moment? Your last one at the table?
Jacob Scott probably
Probably
that one
is
anyway.
right now. Sitting here with you guys talking. That's my favorite part of the hobby. I love the industry.
Well-
Been in it for years.
Yeah, I mean you don't get this through Facebook, right?
No, you don't.
you have the one-on-ones and you see people chat, but you don't get this interaction unless you're actually in the presence of people.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all missed that for so long. So it's just something you just can't.
I've seen you since 2015.
Yeah.
2014.
2014.
That was the first.
Was it 14?
Yeah, it's 14.
We the second one too.
Not me.
That's right.
So yeah,
So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I agree. 100%.
7 years.
It's good times. I think this phone, the battery on this one's just about to go out.
Well, Doug said as soon as it's over, he's going to go for a walk and get a beer himself. So,
Man, I did.
Get another super chat.
oh, El Fuego, what's up?
Well, I mean, we do appreciate everybody here, obviously taking your time to come out and hang out. I know some of you were forced. Because you didn't have.
Yeah, we invited Byron.
Byron's like,
he's like, yeah,
what's
we're
coming?
You kidding me? You brought us
where?
That's right. They're gonna do what? But
They're very professional, and then they go and there's like iPads and cell phones set up. And it's a thing.
Yeah, it's cool. But anyway,
You said they're very who?
Yeah, not us. Exactly.
I told you a story about how we pretend we're master shit there. Hit on collisions and side by side.
Baby birds.
Does anybody got anything to say before we sign off, or that they want to say?
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for sharing the
Thank
passion.
you.
For
sure.
You said thank you. Thank you all very much.
Everybody knows me about
Yeah.
that.
Thank you. I'm like, you're gonna shoot our customers?
Just thank you is what I said. Slid into it. I've been drinking too much water.
Yeah, you've been going hard on that
That's a lot
water,
of
man.
water.
I think these-
It's very hard water. Get it?
Hey.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I think we're frozen.
Yeah. I think.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. We're back.
That's all
So
right.
We're back and then we're going.
yeah, we're gone.
All right, cool. Thanks,
Later.
everybody. You guys want to go get wild somewhere? Or like what?
Mark on
Weird.
baby.
It's Saturday.
Let's get hashtag weird.
Weird shit. Hashtag weird shit. Yeah, I'm actually gonna follow that. Hey, have fun.